for the prickly one, I like to call him, but he's a great guy, by the way. All right, let's draw as he instructed us to draw that line through 608. There it is. Let's go right there. Where we got? There we go. So that's a 608 line right there. So we have it moved in. Yeah, absolutely. The 608 line, Adam, looks like a line of best fit, quite frankly. You obviously see bounces off the 600 as you're going to, right? Because it's that psychological area of resistance and support. But I completely agree with you. The Qs really haven't been on the uptrend, but I don't see us selling off either. So we could be working into valuations as we had, you know, an aggressive move after the tariff tantrum. You ever look at, you know, price action subsequent to earnings or after a big move? There's that accumulation phase, right, where the price starts resolving and catching up with the fundamentals, right? The projections come to reality, and then, you know, the price action will develop subsequent to that. So I don't look at this as bearish, Adam. I just, you know, it's not the greatest, especially if you're picking some up at the highs. I mean, I buy the Qs now, and I've tried to develop this strategy of buying on red days and then percentage red days. We talked about this, I think, on a previous segment. It's a strategy that I think a lot of us are employing, trying to add to our portfolios strategically on certain days. Oh, but I think we have to go back to Adara. She's got breaking news, but do you want to leave him with anything?
I think I'm good. I'll see you guys around. Trade well and stay safe.
Big boys that way. They're that way.
Yeah, I just want to mention the minutes here. I'm not seeing too many recaps of this so far. I'll likely post something on X once I see a lot more. But basically, several Feds said they would have supported two-sided language on the rate path. So basically recognizing the idea that rates don't necessarily have to fall. They could actually continue to go higher, or they could stagnate. Furthermore, Feds, apparently several of the Feds saw more cuts if inflation declines as expected. However, most caution that disinflation could be slower than expected. So basically, this is a whole very mixed bag of a little bit of hawkishness, a little bit of dovishness, and a little bit of nothing at all. I wish it was more exciting for you guys. That's really all I have to say here as of yet, though. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Adara. Yeah, a little bit of up, a little bit of down there. So, I don't know. The market's trending down, so that's good.
It is trending down.
I just got long into Robinhood.
You know what's trending up?
What?
What's trending up is the anticipation for Trader TV Academy is what's trending up, because there's only 6 days. We are 6 days away from the launch of Trader TV Academy. We took our time with this one, everybody, because we didn't want to just give you a course. We wanted to give you a modernized version of the step-by-step learning platform that we've all actually used. We're finally getting close to the launch of this exciting project, and we're going to continue the countdown toward the launch, which is 6 days away. That's right, February 24th, everybody. Right. We're going to be opening the doors and showing you exactly how we learn to trade. Be sure to turn on your notifications so you don't miss the launch.
You're not missing.
I was going to try to tie that in with, you ever seen the thing where it's like it's I don't know, X number of days till training camp, and then they'll be like whatever like guy's jersey number is.
Or whatever.
But I don't know. I couldn't think of an athlete or like a ball player who was famous number 6 off the top of my head. And I'm like, who is a famous number 6? The Yankees are single numbers easy because
baseball might be
Mickey Mantle's 7.
Forget
4 is
about football.
5, I think 6 is DiMaggio. You know what? Like, who is there even a famous number 6 in sports? Maybe that's the one number that you just can't come up with anybody. It doesn't really matter, but I'd like to think I'm a sports fan. Is it Yogi Berra? Yeah, DiMaggio's 5, Berra will be 6, Mantle 7. Because the Yankees, if you had a single-digit Yankee number, like you're the ish, basically. But nobody knows Yogi Berra. Dr. J.
What was Jeter?
Dr. J. That's it. The chat's undefeated. No, end of story. It's Dr. J. Julius Erving.
I mean, LeBron went to 6.
Yeah, but I'm like,
Yeah. Well, LeBron.
Jordan also wore 45, and that doesn't mean.
Yeah, no one would go with that one. So we're gonna watch out for a potential move down. I'm gonna stop out of this Robinhood if it breaks 75.80s. So
how did you know we had a super chat about Robinhood?
That little lows there. I didn't know anything. What's your take on Robinhood? Oh, the venture funds. I don't know anything about that. What they were doing something with that yesterday, wasn't there? And
they're getting a launch so you can get into private names like a SpaceX. Look, I think
it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. There's a huge appetite to open up this market for the average investor.
I just don't know enough about it. Like, do you get Anthropic early? Like, what is that all? Because there's big IPOs coming this year.
I would.
You know, do you get SpaceX early? Do you get guaranteed allotment at some point? Is there a fee associated with it? I don't know enough about it. So
it's got to be better than the Destiny DXYZ, where you're usually paying a solid premium. That's the best way to think about it. A solid premium for what they end up holding. Like, it's usually somewhere in the 70 to 80%. Whatever, almost twice as much as the value of their underlying holdings based on recent funding rounds. But this is your option. It's an option for people, and it goes like meme crazy every now and then, but there's got to be better options for everybody out there. We're going to get to the rundown when a little bit later on, because I know Sharif is getting locked and loaded and getting ready. Good midday.
Team Canada almost lost to Team Czechia, so they won 4-3 in overtime. Like, wow. Mitch Marner obviously left the Leafs, but he's Canadian hero today. As we win in overtime in the 8th minute, and it was just, well, the 2nd minute of overtime.
Been a weird Olympics for Canada.
Yeah, we only have like, what, 2 or 3 gold medals. It hasn't been a great one there. We're using, like, our bobsled is like 20 years old, and apparently we don't fund our own athletes, so there's lots of problems.
No, never have.
Going on.
That's Summer and Winter Olympics. Athletes don't get funded. And you hear those stories and you talk to people that have gone, and it's like, you've got to be kidding me. But that kind of is what it is. What's weird to me, I forgot to ask you about there was another controversy in curling.
What now?
A guy nicked a rock.
Yeah.
And then was like, no, and then he was like, no, I didn't touch it.
Oh, well,
and then like on camera, it's like, I'm like, bro, when you were sweeping, you easily hit it. The Canadians called him out on it, which they should. And
you know, it's called burning a rock. You're not allowed to burn the rock.
No, but it wasn't the one that was being thrown. It was the one that was about to get hit. But like, it was so obvious that he hit it. I'm like, how could he not know that he hit the, you know how heavy those things are?
I do know. I remember
you can't, like, I guess I'm saying, like, if you touch that thing, you know,
it's 45 pounds, and they're glued to the ice there. So I don't really know how.
You can't not know. Trust me. You know if your broom hits one the second it happens. Those things are insane. But first of all, I just saw in the chat. Okay, YouTube has been, see, look at this. Canada finger curling. This gets blocked, but this does not get blocked. Okay, YouTube, you know what's going on. Someone can say smoke crack rocks, but like other comments which are just talking about random stuff are getting blocked. I don't know what's going on with that system. I'm in one trade, it's Intel under VWAP. I'll reload it if we get a chance. Nothing too crazy happening. I see Sharif setting up. What's wild about this market being, I mean, it's above VWAP. I don't want to say that it's up and strong.
I'm trying to buy VWAP.
We are pulling back, but we're up 1% above the volume weighted average price. I just want to point out that Bitcoin still sucks. It's a 24-hour market, but it's down. It's still looking relatively weak. I don't know what's going to get this going. And if you think that it's, you think that it's not like a sentiment thing. I mean, Coinbase looked like to all the world that this was breaking out this morning. Everything about this seemed like a big breakout. Look at the steady continuation down. Something is not right in this world about crypto, and it's continuing here. Got to watch out for a flat bottom break at 165 on Coinbase today or tomorrow. Not seeing it happens today, but there's a couple of days worth, and there's a close on Friday as well at 165. We could have a flat bottom break here in Coinbase this afternoon.
Okay, we're starting to finally get going a little bit here on Robinhood. I'm waiting for 76.40s. See if we can get something just ahead of VWAP here for 44 actually. So a little bit of a move higher. The stop's going to be just under 76. So I was using this little wick there. I think it's literally at 84s. So if we could break back down below, then we'll stop out. I mean, we could change. Maybe we'll change it to 79 right there now that I see this a little bit better. 75, 79 for the stop. I mean, we're trying to go 1-to-1 here, so we need to get something up in the 40s, see if this is going to work. I just thought Robinhood, again, bouncing off right here off the 200 period moving average, trying to see if there's some strength back in Robinhood, up 1%. Market made a move down, so did Robinhood. We saw that there was buyers early, basically came back in, and we're going to test it. I know that we're underneath VWAP, so it's not the most perfect setup. I'd rather, VWAP align down here, but we'll see if we can make our move back up to said VWAP and then get hit out of that trade. So yeah, that's what we're working with right now. Went back and forth with some Palantir here trying to go long until eventually it lost. So that was to the downside there on Palantir. And wow, like As soon as it broke this shelf, man, did we ever lose the bid there on PLTR. Talk about a stock that was cruising this morning, 141, now right back to 137. And actually, we wrote down 133, so I don't know if we're getting close to that or not. But here it comes back in, 135. Maybe we wait for Palantir. Here goes Robinhood a little bit. Maybe we can get an upside drift and get our out in the fall. Comes right back. So what does it do there? It goes to 30s and right back into 20s. Okay, we just got to wait for all of this. Yeah, look, it should be good. Pan W, we'll talk about that coming up very, very soon. That might be one of the ones that's on the list that you want to talk about. We could definitely have a look at Palo Alto soon as well. Intel, AMD, NVIDIA, all these names moving around.
Live Nation just tanked here.
Live Nation, now maybe there's something about... Eric Trump says he's never been more bullish on Bitcoin.
Really?
Interesting.
I find that hard to believe.
You never know. These guys just tell you whatever they want to, and
well, it's just like it's
figured out from there. But
like it's such a when people say you make extreme statements like that, it's like it's so obviously like disingenuous. Like there's always I'm sure there was a point that you were more or less bullish. Like it always happens. I like Alphabet. But like, I'm as bullish as no, that's not true. I loved Alphabet a heck of a lot more 10 years ago. I was way more bullish on Google at other points. Okay. At this moment, that's just some stuff people say when things are going to the downside. But I'm keeping ear to the ground for this Live Nation. I actually haven't seen a news story. Just a little bit of it's the biggest volume spike of the day. There's nothing that's actually hit the wire. It's only 1% overall, but that's a pretty hefty drop. Again, we'll keep our ear to the ground. I believe we are ready for the rundown.
Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. Neil, Sean, the big boys, as they're known, they're locked, they're loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get your tickers on the Afternoon Rundown, you got to join us every day in the chat, bright early, 8 a.m. we go live. And vote for your favorite tickers, but you've got to throw in that $ before the ticker, of course, of your choice. Keeping an eye here on the Qs, dropping below 1%. We were above into that 609 3/4 area, dropping down into 607 now, but a green day on all four major averages. The SPY not faring as well, 0.58 in the Ville of Green, and the DIA, the Dow Jones Industrial ETF, faring the worst out of the four, up 0.29. The IWM Russell ETF up 0.65. Good look for all four major averages today. Micron, the first ticker as decided by you, up nicely here, 5 3/4, was up over that amount. Good strength today on some of the RAM names. We saw SanDisk as well, having their shares sold by Western Digital today. Micron shares are trading higher after Appaloosa Management filed their 13F and disclosed that they increased their stake in the company, guys, trying to break through that 430 area, but coming up short today, 427.85 high.
Yeah, and by the way, I was just typing in the chat because some people are like, oh, well, maybe Trump has this reason for saying he's the most bullish ever. It's okay to be at your most bullish point on something, but like as a standalone statement, like just say why too. Like you could be, I like these technical levels, I believe blah, 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 whatever it is, like, I don't know, that would make more sense to me than I am as bullish as I have ever been. I'm as bullish as I've ever been on the Toronto Blue Jays. How about that nonsense? And then I give you guys no reason why. I'm a homer, that's why. Look, Micron, it's above 420, which is not just like a 420 thing. It has been a pretty big level. What I do like about it is, the relative strength is going to be good. I'm not completely convinced of this. However, when I look at the last high that we made, and I get nitpicky about when you see this kind of a flag, like when we start making tops like this, and you get this little bit of a channel, so there's the low, and then you start like making some kind of like a wedge in here, that can break in either direction. So if every up move is met with a lower high that fails to break into a new all-time high, then there is a potential of like a downward break of that channel. So I think Micron, as it presses into this top, that would be what concerns me. But here's the good news, is SNDK did something like this all the way back here, and it ended up eventually breaking out. Like it just finally took the higher low and then broke away. But both these names, these memory names have a very similar pattern up at this top, where it looks like a consolidation higher. But if that wedge breaks down, you could see SNDK, I think you could see 20, 25% on Micron. it's at least primed that it wouldn't be as bad if it got to the 50 period. Like I could see the 330 level coming back in. So it needs to prove that it can make a higher high before I think you'd want to even remotely chase this one up. I mean, I had a great quarter. You can't really complain about the numbers that have been put up going into this, but it's getting a little frothy up here. And the fact that you're still technically making a lower high on the daily, as much as I want to like it, I want to break the wedge to the upside, not just get to that lower high.
I'm actually looking right now to think about, so I'm long Robinhood. We just got into a new position here with Apple. I want to give this one to 265 upside. We just closed here on your 5-minute chart right there. I want to give it to this, basically the wick of the last close. Let's just give it to 265. We'll go short now on Apple. I mean, it broke VWAP. It's coming back upside. I have a little bit of a different VWAP on my e-signal charts. That's sort of what I was playing off of here. So let's put in the stop price right now of 265.01. If it breaks it, we can stop out right there. So short at 63. So we'll wait for 37 cents or so on the downside. See if we can get like a 2-to-1, or that would be 2-to-1. But if we can get back down into 264, then that would be our 2-to-1. So if we can get something like that, we'll wait and just be patient with this. We are still long Robinhood right now as well. But yeah, that was, you know, we talked about a little bit there of Micron and SanDisk and all that. I mean, sometimes you want to look for the plays right off the bat. And I think that when you're looking at a stock like Micron, it was a little choppy early, but we still did hold VWAP. So once you give it that first, 10 or 15 minutes, then you can start using some of the lines, right? And we've never seen VWAP since. So yeah, sometimes stocks continue to trend. I always seem to get out way too early, and you got to kind of let them work itself out. I guess a break of the 200 period looks like it makes sense there on a hold all the way. So right into there, maybe that was a good buy zone. So let it figure itself out. See it holding VWAP a little bit there. And then there's the complete hold. VWAP, the 20 period, the 200, everything. And then there it goes to the upside. So it is always risky to take. Like when this is falling down there, it's risky to sit there and take shares. But if you do it, you have your outs and you have your reward. So far so good there on Micron. Good trade today. To have been long this name is huge. I mean, Micron's been such a stud. Yeah, let's go back over and see what the next stock is. Maybe it's Robinhood.
It's NVIDIA Continuum, but yeah. 2 1/5 today with a nice headline with Meta. They're buying, I'm sure you guys are not surprised, more GPUs from NVIDIA. The deal was not disclosed, the size of the deal was not disclosed, but what they are buying is the new GB300, that is the dual version of the B300, the Blackwell, as well as the new networking components by NVIDIA as well. So good look there. $136 billion is what Meta is looking to spend on AI this year. I don't know exactly how much of it's going to NVIDIA, guys, but looking good now.
Yeah, and we saw this in the aftermarket. There was a lot of what is going on with AMD this morning, and it was simply that NVIDIA was gapped up. Well, it was gapped up, but it was the big push here on NVIDIA in the afternoon on that headline, and then you had AMD going distinctly in the other direction in the aftermarket. But the problem with NVIDIA, it's not a problem, it's just what's happening. And nothing's really changed today, except it didn't actually press into that low 90s. Like, see what's going, like, see what's been going on. Ignore the dark pool wicks, because you didn't actually test above 190 yesterday either or the day before. But everything above 190 has been either chop or sell. There's been no actual strength above $190, and today it got to 190 and did an about face. The only trade I have on it was, believe it or not, actually, it was a trend break that I didn't get filled on, but I actually put the bid in to see if I get picked up and then put a stop order underneath VWAP. Thankfully, when I got up and didn't cancel the order, my stop order just triggered slightly under break even. That's why you should use stop orders. But it hasn't been able to do much of anything with this level. I thought maybe you could break out the 190 today, and we'd be talking about 190 into 92, 93, and then a fade up there. So I had all these plans in the note for that, or a dip into 185. Neither one happened. We got an inside day for NVIDIA, but it doesn't make a difference because at the end of the day, I'm not sure. It might take till after earnings and some like a blowout number, which they always do, to take us through whoever the seller is or whomever is selling a bunch in the 92, 93 zone, and we can't punch through it. No matter what the market tends to be doing, NVIDIA will hit a brick wall at these prices for the last 3 weeks. So I think it's going into earnings probably when you're going to have to get this breakaway. And then it'll gap through if it goes, instead of giving us the chance to trade on a breakout trade that everyone's waiting for on NVIDIA. It's like it's coiling up for something. It's like the sprinter that's in the blocks. Just kind of hope that it doesn't false start and hits it running on Wednesday, which should be, again, impressive. But impressive hasn't meant much. Ask PanW.
Yeah, I mean, I tried. We thought about longs early, and then all of a sudden we were thinking short because it wasn't going, and then it went. And so we got stopped out on the high side, so not a great trading there. It looks like 190 has been the top, and I said I only really want to go long NVIDIA, so why going short here, don't know. But it short printed okay, and then it just got a little carried away up here at 190 before it finally broke, and we wound up getting out at 190.10. So a bunch of shorts here, 80s, 90s, things like that, just a couple like 10 cent, 20 cent hits, but adds up, right? And then you get a nice blow to the upside here. Yeah, I mean, I think we can always maybe just look at 190 as a pretty consistent area for, you know, stop orders to be and sort of orders that are hunted and whatnot. So NVIDIA is now pulling back off VWAP. So, you know, this could be just a move down here for the rest of the day. But what are the futures doing? Okay, they're still hanging out. I'm still in this Apple short. It's not really doing anything right now. And the hood trade is not doing anything either. So we're just going to have to wait on this. But yeah, I like NVIDIA. I still like NVIDIA to the long side. If we're going to choose one downside, it would be AMD. And wow, that one had such a move higher there. It was down today. And we were like, okay, and NVIDIA's up, but AMD's down. And then all of a sudden, AMD really took off. And I think there could be more than one winner in this space. But obviously, when you're announcing something with with NVIDIA and Meta, you know, certain names are going to get left behind, and unfortunately, it looks like that is going to be AMD for now, as it's just continuously moving a little lower right here. Still actually up on the day. Like, it's down, you know, day over day, but like the fact that we started the day at 195, it was nice to get back to 203. So we do know that there's buyers here. I'm actually just kind of looking for the long on all these chip names. You know, this is kind of par for the course of what we've seen. And I know Adam James abroad there said something like, if you just draw a trend line at the Qs, it's been, you know, relatively flat for a very, very long time. Well, that's kind of the same thing here. Like AMD, we were just kind of in this 180 to 190 area, honestly, like back in August. And NVIDIA is the same way. If you look at their daily chart, it's literally been doing absolutely nothing since August, even longer than that. Here's the daily chart for NVIDIA. So you can go all the way back. This is July right here. So I guess it's similar as August. We're actually a little up since then, but this is pretty flat. So I think if you're trying to swing trade something right now, NVIDIA does not seem like the thing for you. So I would hold off on that. Well, Apple's starting to go back up to the upside here as the market looks like it wants to take a little bit
Quickly,
of a, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
We got
trying to go for a run.
If you get a super chat, we got to do it. And
Yeah,
of course, if it's from Frederick Von Yummy Pants, then we got.
Then we have for sure have to do it.
Obviously. I'm 10 for 10 buying 1,000 shares of UVIX, this is 2x leverage, by the way, of the VIX, about an hour before the FOMC meetings. It's the most consistent strategy. Well, if you did it today, it's before the release of the
FOMC minutes. So he's doing it at 1 p.m.
Meetings, though.
FOMC meetings.
This would be the minutes today.
I think that's what he means.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but either way, if you did that, this would be 1 o'clock. And here's the volume spike. It actually started going 20 minutes, like call it like 120 or so, big volume spike, and then started trending up. The other thing about that is, you know, obviously anything can happen like geopolitically or there can be news, but hey, when you find an edge, go ahead and hit it. Just always remember, when you're trading leverage ETFs, it's good for trading and not investing. Because obviously decay is going to kick your butt. That's just how it works. Now let's go see what the next symbol is on the list. I'm going to make an educated guess. Oh, I was going to say Palantir, but I actually believe it's something. It's not. It is Palantir? I was going to guess RXT.
Next. You're pretty close, Neil. RXT's next. So they kind of go a little bit, you know, Palantir's ahead, RXT's ahead. So I take it when I see it. So Palantir up 3.14, coming back down now into pre-market highs. Couple of headlines today on Palantir, with the first one being Rackspace. They're going to use Rackspace to enhance their AI deployment. They're going to deploy the AIP as well as the Foundry program with them, and Rackspace is going to increase its Palantir trained engineers from 30 to 250 to reflect that new partnership. Separately, they also received a nod today from Mizuho, upgrading them from neutral to outperform, guys, and $195 price target. Palantir up 3.12.
Yeah, I mean, again, like we wrote down Palantir, we liked the long, we tried the long here on Palantir, but it really got going early. And sometimes it is just about this little setup, right? I mean, it can't figure out what it wants to do early, and then it takes off. And we were focused on the long. I mean, we wrote down all the longs for Palantir, so I was pretty okay with it off of VWAP until it lost VWAP. And then we, again, tried it a little bit. I'm wondering if it's like, you just give it a little bit of a wick down, and we did that, and then stop out on that. And now it looks like it actually might want to break even lower right now. So a name that was up 5%, you know, with the market, I don't know, I don't know what the market's doing right now, but Palantir downside, pretty strong there. So yeah, I had said this earlier, like the short, someone asked, we got a super chat earlier and said like, what about a short or whatever in Palantir? And I was thinking that this is like, you know, this is gonna be the 4th day up according to our charts anyways. So that might not have been the right time in case it did go on one of its runs. I mean, we saw Amazon down 9 straight days. I still think Palantir can go on another run. I mean, if someone upgrades them tomorrow, depending on what the market looks like, you know, you could make that move. And then I think it's a short. You know, if we can get it back up to this 150 area, and then until you break through, you're almost going to get a cross right now, the 50 and the 200. So, you know, death cross imminent in the next couple of days. And then that's generally a downside look. But, you know, I think this sort of SaaS move with IGV and everything, it's a little overdone, I feel like, right now. So I don't know. I want to buy Palantir. I think it goes lower, but I think it's also a fair price where it is now. It's been hit about down $70 since earnings. So.
By the time you get that death cross, like maybe like it's such a flash signal for people to short that when like the best shorts are already in the money, 30 to 40%. Sometimes it can be a nice little entry point, I think, for a bit of a rebound because you're getting new shorts at a point where it's already been depressed. That'd be my line of thinking on the death cross. I like it when it sets up a trade in the other direction because then you kind of have an idea who your win is going against when those people get stopped out. Like this is where they're getting in on the death crop, this is where they're getting stopped out, so you can structure your trade based on that. It was just the missed target area for Palantir. Like I like to dip into this price area, 34, into the prior close. That never happened. The breakout did. I did put the breakout on the note. In my defense, ONDS and Palantir both broke out at the same time. I took ONDS and not Palantir. And now it's almost like we don't have a name for this, but like the reverse V on Palantir, which sometimes can find support at the lows. But the market's at VWAP and trying to fail. So I don't know if I'm a huge fan of this. And now we're going to go talk. Ooh, the market just took a little bit of a turn through VWAP here. Palantir just accelerated a bit. Let's go and talk about, I think, RTX.
Okay.
Yeah, guys, RXT up 222.5%, and it's very much connected with the previous story of Palantir, because that's Rackspace, RXT. They announced, as I mentioned, a strategic partnership with Palantir to deploy their Foundry as well as their AIP platform that sent the shares, as you can see, over 200%. However, for those looking at this as an investment rather than an intraday trade, you should know the following. They have severe financial distress with $2.8 billion in debt. They were trading near 52-week lows in penny stock territory at around 41 cents, and their market cap was $100 million. Let's have a look at it right now. It is now up to $322 million with this latest price action, boys. So RXT up 217.
You can tell you do a stock market show every single day when the stock is RXT, and then I literally looked at it on a visualizer and I saw the letters and just assumed it was RTX. Which, why would our viewers care about RTX? I mean, it's just a incredibly well-performing company that has done well for a very long time. Raytheon, maybe you don't like the sector, but this is not Raytheon, it's RXT, which Sharif just told you about, and I am going to pay for locates on it right now because of this. So here is the top this morning. So this is the open breakout. So at 9:30, it broke out this level. Here's your higher lows going into it. Immediately, that trend line turns into support, support, support. That tried to hold and kind of did. And now it's breaking down underneath it. So I want to play, it's above VWAP, which is not the best flex in the world. So I might try a little bit in under the trend line and then add, if it breaks, the volume weighted average price on RTX. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's hilarious. I think this actually might have been free.
RXT?
How
much is it?
I just keep saying, I just said RTX again, didn't
I know, yeah.
It is what it is. Raytheon's an actual company. Not that these guys aren't a company too. But anyways, trend line just broke. So just note that if I say RTX for the rest of the afternoon, there's a good chance, 99.9% chance that I am talking about RXT. It is breaking a bit of a trend that's been holding for the majority of the day. If it loses VWAP, I think that's one breakdown, but maybe catching something off of 140 as well, and then sort of giving it to this 145 area is going to be a part of the play.
All right, Robinhood's finally starting to go, so we'll do a little bit of a hot dog cannon right now as I'm like actively trading as we're doing all of this. But so there it was. We did get, you know, that low there. We just got that high, and we've just been, you know, scalping this out at, whoa, okay, at the 21. Good thing we got that at the 21 period moving average right there. Wow, there's a dip down. But here comes Apple. Here comes Apple. Out comes Apple. We'll see if we put a bid there at 49. That's me sitting there. There it is. So a nice little move down quickly there on the market as Apple tank city. And right now we wait for Robinhood. We're going to get kicked out of this on an 80 break, but it looks like it's Apple heading to the downside right now. Crude futures are now closed. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but it's a nice move down right now for Apple and for Robinhood as we continue to watch out for these stocks. I wanted to, actually, I might just get a piece out here at O's if we can on Hood. I wanted to talk about another, get down Apple. I want to talk about another name, Big Bear AI. I mean, a name that many of you are familiar with because we've been talking about it for a while. It was up 4.5%. It was actually up 5%. At one point here at 422. So again, this is like one of those names we already talked about, Palantir. It's trying to hold, you know, this $384 level. But again, with SaaS and all this kind of stuff and people not really believing in the space, you got to watch out for this name. But it's starting to get interesting for me again. If I like to see about a week at least holding down here. Big Bear AI earnings, I think next week or something like that. So better to not get in position until that happens. This is not a company that makes any money. But there were some people asking about Big Bear AI, and I was just thinking like, you know, they need to prove, right? And another stock that I've mentioned liking as well is IoT, Internet of Things, Samsara right there as well. And they're having a decent day today as well. Wow, good out there. Robinhood, see, we got that O's. So now when this drips down, it's okay. We're making a little bit more money right now on our boy Apple as that one goes down. Remember, we were talking about trying to make sure that we got the right R to R there and everything. And so here comes Apple right down. We're short at 80s again, and there comes right back in for Apple. So that looks like that wants to make a little bit of a move lower here as well. So yeah, earnings, there it is. Earnings March 2nd or so after hours is what you're saying. So we had double here. Let me just double check that because
for BBAI,
I feel like it was earlier the last time I looked.
I thought they were the day.
No, it's March 2nd. Yeah, it's in 12 days. So there it is.
That's after.
There was somebody relatively.
Someone's the day after NVIDIA.
Yeah, I'm not. I'd have to try to think about who that is. But yeah, good look there. Thanks everybody in the chat. March 2nd for Big Bear AI. I think that would be something, you know.
Oh, it's SMR. That's it.
They could really surprise you to the upside there. So we'll wait to see. That's one of my plays, so biased to that. But okay, let's go back over to the desk with Sharif for one more. So
Tesla, boys, up 0.33% off the highs and coming back down closer to that closing print. A couple of headlines today. California DMV says Tesla's taken the necessary corrective action to avoid a DMV suspension. They were possibly going to be prevented from selling their cars in the state of California. The issue here was the terms of autopilot and full self-drive and the marketing of the EVs that they sell there seem to aggravate the DMV. Separately yesterday, Elon Musk posting on X the Cybercab now, which is being produced there, guys, in Austin. So good look. We'll have to see when that one makes its way onto the road. Tesla up 1/3.
It is up 1/3. Every once in a while, like I look back and I like to, you can review trades, but you can also review things that you weren't paying attention to because Tesla wasn't on the radar. But anytime there's this is an all-day type of trend. Like first breakout, first major pullback, probably looks way better on a 15-minute. Like look at the trend line on the 15-minute and look at when it breaks. Continuation, reversal short. That's a setup that you got to like. The other thing that's going on with Tesla is, back out here, is look at the rejection of our magical 420 level. I don't like when you have a liquidity grab, which is bullish. Liquidity grab, gap higher, but zero continuation. If we end up losing 410, then this little liquidity grab is not a liquidity grab. So the whole point is that you're supposed to immediately hold support. That hasn't happened. This broke trend when the market broke trend. So right now I just feel like there's not much holding Tesla up outside of the prior close here at the 410 level. So like most other things, if we were talking about this an hour ago on that trend break. That would be a setup for a good trend break, but I played something like this in the RXT, where you have a clean trend being unbroken. As far as the long term goes on Tesla, I haven't changed my, personally, I'm not a buyer of Tesla up here. I like a hold for Tesla. It's still going to be expensive. We're still going to be waiting for Optimus. People we're joking about how it's not really showing us what it can do yet. You have to be able to ignore some of the target dates that get us really excited that Elon will throw out there, and then you have to have the bigger picture in mind. And the question is, okay, well, when it comes to a humanoid robot that could be in people's houses, who is going to be first in North America and in the West? And if you think it's somebody other than Tesla, fair enough, but I tend to think it'll be Tesla. So the timeline of that doesn't necessarily matter if you want to think 5, 10 years down the line for the stock price. Doesn't mean I want to buy any here, but certainly I think it's a hold. If we lose the 200-period moving average, then you can start thinking about where I would want to DCA. But for now, Tesla is just following the market, and the market's headed back in.
Yeah, okay, I was just typing some stuff into Gemini here, I'm downloading some things, some charts, showing them different things and trying to figure out plays and whatnot. But here we go, man. We had talked about this trade. This is going to be obviously a very, very big one as the bears ride again right now. So we say shout out to you, Apple, and thank you so much for giving us this trade. And there it is. There's the Apple trade. Yes. Finally, right there, we just put this on for you. It is a dollar club right there for Apple. So patience finally pays. I mean, we actually talked about, first of all, we're out of Robinhood, and that's actually fine. Able to make money on it, and was as the market was bleeding, and Neil was talking, we were just getting out of Robinhood the whole way, and to the point where we only had 20% left, and there's the break of 80. We wanted to get out anyway, so see you later, Robinhood. But just for Apple, what we had seen here was I was looking at a break of VWAP. We had seen the futures start to go to the downside, right? Apple was weaker than the futures today to begin with, so that was fine. We went short Apple right there. Didn't work out. We will now make all of the money back. Well, Apple was actually up, but all of it back, and now obviously more, as there goes the move down. And I just think this one made a lot of sense. My stop is at 265 flat. So we have 15 cents worth of a stop, now in the money 90. And again, it was just really reloading it at the 50 period, using 265 as our out. It wasn't really rocket science, but I just thought it was gonna be a little weaker. So really lucky that is what wound up happening right there. I'm assuming that Palantir, yeah, wow.
Bring it all back.
Same trade, yeah, almost all. Yeah, I was thinking about same trade there off VWAP breaking down on Palantir. I just felt like Palantir was a much stronger stock, and I would rather the longs. So we waited for that Apple trade, and it just pan-W'd out for us there so far.
Yeah,
last time I looked. Okay, this is still down 7. I was going to say, I looked at this thing, was only down 5% at one point. Not bad. And now all of a sudden, Palo Alto down 7% now and going a lot lower.
CrowdStrike is up, by the way, in sympathy.
Okay.
So much for the sympathy dip buy when Palo Alto reported, thinking you'd get a discount on CrowdStrike. Thinking I would get a discount on CrowdStrike. That was... If we go back 24 hours ago, it was yeah, well, I'm going to stink bid CrowdStrike when Palo Alto goes to the downside, and it was the wrong one. But anybody that bought the dip on PanW this morning, congratulations to you. For now, I'll say the big for now because it's not over yet. It's not really doing anything, but it's the market heading back into the lows. I would be at least a little bit concerned if you lose VWAP on this bad boy. Okay, so let's see. Floristic, Meta going to sacrifice NVIDIA?
Meta going to...
I'm trying to figure out what that comment means. Is Meta going to sacrifice NVIDIA?
Maybe because they had that deal, right? So today's deal was between Meta and NVIDIA, and it was an AI partnership where they're deploying all these GPUs and using NVIDIA. But I think that's only a good thing for NVIDIA.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it... Maybe it's like sacrificing a live chicken so they can hit a home run. That could be it. No, I think this is good for NVIDIA. What this is going to mean for Meta, which is doing absolutely nothing right now. The good news for Meta, actually in this moment, is the fact that it's not breaking lower, oddly enough. So if you find something that's big tech, that is not breaking lower, then it's stronger than the Qs, because the Qs are distinctly doing this. So if your stock that should be following the Qs is not tanking, then I don't know. Then maybe that's some kind of a long this afternoon on a bit of a bounce. So where's my trend line? There we go. So this is the trend. This is a VWAP short on Intel, but I want to look for a place to, I thought VWAP was the place to add on this, but I think the place to add is going to be on the trend line. All that said, this is the target area. So if we bounce off this 45 half, on Intel, I play even dollars to the halves. That's just how I roll, because that's how the stock moves. But I'll look for this trend line, which is back in the 3/4 mark, to try to reload this position. But if we bounce a couple times off 45.5, I'm just going to take this one out and look for the reload if we can get it. JC Money, that's the quote I was thinking about. Jobu is one of the most underrated movie characters of all time.
Yes. I mean, if you can't hit a curveball,
exactly,
you got to.
Because you don't mess with Jobu's rum.
And when you do, you could get that pink slip there that the guy got in the locker room.
I was a huge fan. That guy, the dude Harris, was one of the more unsung. The guy that drinks Jobu's rum.
Yeah, the guy's so old too. Like, how is that guy even playing baseball?
He's like 50-something years old, but he's the team's ace pitcher. Like, he's drinking booze. He has like Vaseline in his hair and all. He's cheating in every single way possible.
That guy throwing the ball down the plate.
He's hilarious because, and he's not a name actor. I don't even know the actor. And he's one of those undercover. If you've never seen Major League, then you don't know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, it is one of the funniest baseball movies ever made.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Target on
Is the funniest.
Intel. Bull Durham's pretty funny.
Okay, well, yeah.
I'd say it's
Major League is Field of Dreams is a great movie.
Yeah, but Major League and Bull Durham, 1A, 1B, they're both hilarious. They're just different types of movies. Like Bull Durham is very, very good. That's very watchable. All right, so RXT, not to be mistaken with Raytheon, not that you would, because this is a $1.25 stock. So if you mistake this with Raytheon, I question what you're doing here. So just broke down through VWAP. So this was the consolidation under the trend break. Not my best trend line drawing. I drew it way better on my black chart because that's the one I actually use. So there's the consolidation under the trend break. I will now move the stop because we've lost the volume weighted average price. So instead of stopping it at this prior bar, I now stop it at this one, which will be effectively break even. So I'm going to do that now. And you can already see I'm bidding out into $1. I would do that with any penny stock. I don't care what you are or what you do. If you're trending into $1, I just assume the dollar is going to have support because it's a psychological level. So I'm going to trade this one into the dollar. We just got the 117, I think we got filled there. Looking for it to play just a couple more times into $1. If I see it hard bounce off 5 or 6, then I would take it out there as well. Oh, there is a small cap that was strong. This one's falling over. Thank you, JC Money. It was that CDIO, Cardio Diagnostics. Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah, I'm like a horrible jinx, man. Anyways, it was strong. I knew there was a small capper that we weren't talking about that was strong today. And of course, by the time we look at it, this is happening. Pulling into VWAP. Look at it ride VWAP all day long, CDIO. Sharif had to have been trading this because he's all about the volume weighted average price on a small cap gapper. Pure respect for it here. So if you're looking for a bounce in CDIO, there's probably only one place to look, and that would be VWAP. I like the shorts. I don't
know. I need an update from Adara about these Fed minutes before I comment on this because I haven't really been following. So I don't know. Do you have like a Coles notes here, Adara?
I went through them and I posted some on X as well. I can just read you through my Coles notes on X. Speaking of coal, though, BTU actually on watch. New York Times reporting that the EPA is planning on loosening mercury rules for coal plants, citing specific documents. So I mean, potentially keep an eye here on coal. But yeah, in terms of the minutes, I mentioned them like briefly. Right at 2. Basically what happened here was like most feds think that there is a bit of an improvement there on the labor side of things, but they think that it will take a little bit longer than maybe expected to get inflation back down to 2%. However, if inflation shows improvements, they have no problems doing more rate cuts than expected. So it is a whole lot of nothing, more or less. It's like there is still caution. Again, as we know, the majority of the Fed supported the decision to hold rates steady. But yeah, I mean, like apparently also some of them in the rate statement thought that there could have been more of a case made for like kind of an either way statement. Like we could have better conditions, we could have worse conditions. So either way, pretty cautious across the board there, I would say, for the Fed minutes.
Thanks, Dara. Yeah, so there you have it. I mean, yeah, we got last Thursday or Friday, so we got that cooler CPI reading, which would lead to rate cuts. You know, rather than if inflation is out of control, then you raise the rates a little bit. It seems like now with inflation being under control and even lower, maybe than Fed target. I mean, it's 2.4 now? I think they were expecting 2.6. Fed's always looked at, you know, around 2% inflation as a rate that they were focused on. I don't know what the real rate is, but that's what they're looking at. So for me on that one, I mean, we can actually, before we go too far on, let me just refresh the Fed rate tool here and just find out exactly what that looks like right now. And got this little, is that the Java thing there? Let's just refresh this right here for everybody and just to see. So, you know, right here into March. So this is still a month. This is exactly a month today. So in 4 weeks today, you'll get no rate cut, apparently. And then in April, I think this is when it starts to descend a little bit. Yeah, so 20% chance of a rate cut in April, which now that's, you know, 2.5 months away.
June 60.
Yeah, I know, yeah. So this is when it starts to get exciting again. Now it's 50-50 actually.
Well, no, because there's 11% that you get
this way.
Too.
Yeah, so you're saying
it's like
that
a 60. It's like 60% chance of cut.
It's more this number, right? Only 36% chance we stay.
That we stay. Yeah. Actually, that's the best way to look at it.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it there. And if you just zoom all the way out to end of year, right? So right now we're at 350, 375. So it's looking like the most likely would be 2 rate cuts. So there's between 2 to 3 rate cuts is what we're looking for. The Fed's priced in right here by the end of the year. So yeah, I think that would bode well for the stock market. I was going to say the economy, but the market's different than the economy. I think if we do get those rate cuts, then yeah, I think it's full steam ahead on what we're expecting with the market. I mean, the S&P 500's at all-time highs right now. Nasdaq's not. We've talked about the struggles in some of those names, and I'm trading one right now with Apple and Nvidia and I mean, look at Microsoft. You know, I mean, if you're going to get rate cuts and money's going to still remain cheap, that does help for some of these AI build-outs and whatnot. You know, restructuring any debt. We heard Oracle had to do that bond offering. So did Google as well. So, you know, there's a lot of money flying around there. And if the money remains cheap, I think it's better for a lot of these companies right now. And especially if we get a little bit of a weaker dollar, better for this. But yeah, I was
roll out a 100-year bond and like people are like, yay, let's.
That was Google, right?
Yeah, let's do that. It was. Like that was
100 years.
Like what is going? Like what are we doing here? That just from like my first thought with the 100-year bond was an episode of The Simpsons with the $1 trillion bill. Like that was
you mentioned that to me.
I was just like, not that obviously the $1 trillion bill was a complete joke, but that's what they were going with. I was just completely shocked by that. But it is what it is.
Money printer
at the end of the day, if people want to sign up for that, do your thing. All that said, Alphabet.
I mean, that was oversubscribed.
It's nibble time. It was oversubscribed. I don't know how many times over. It was definitely oversubscribed.
Loving it.
Significantly oversubscribed. But I think it's nibble time on Alphabet. Like if you, well, I'll speak for myself because I went in and bought a little bit. It was the 300 level, and I feel like if it gets down, I want to DCA into the 200 period moving average. So the money that I want to put into this or add to this, I should say, because I want this to move a little bit higher up the chain for myself. But I think this. If we get down to like 270, if that were the case, I would probably try another nibble or just wait a couple of quarters. I can just buy, instead of doing like a nibble here or there when it gets to a price level, the other way to DCA is just do it every single quarter. So it's kind of an either or. But either way, 300 holding out for Alphabet. Is Micron back at 420? Yes, it is, all the way back into VWAP. The thing about it is Micron's relatively strong. I'm looking for continuation short at this point. So I said one of the places I was going to do that was here,
I took a new trade,
which is going to be Intel back at the trend line. So it's getting close. It's almost back into this trend. Going to look to short the pop here, short the pops. That's one way to join the trend.
I don't know if this is, we'll hit the siren. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but Palantir just dropped right into 135. So this is a level that we had thought about, and I just didn't even, you know, we had seen this really just come through, and it actually did print up about 20 cents from our spot there. We didn't take it. But yeah, we're going to have to watch out for this move. I'm actually was going to stop out. I just put the stop there, breaking 30. I don't even really want to hold this. That's 30 right here, breaking it all the way down. I mean, you know, that's 10s and that's O's. That's actually below O's. That's 90s. So I'm going to stop out basically on this little, I don't even want to play these wicks. I think if it drops that far, then it's easy to see that we're wrong. So we'll take a smaller spot now and then try to average it in if we get into basically where we just bounced off of. Actually, that's 50. So I don't know why I didn't put, I put it at 40. I put it at 44. Okay, we'll see if it comes back in and then stopping at, it might not be enough. Let's put that bid, I think, on Palantir around the 50 mark. Okay, so we'll put a bid there, 135.51s or so for double the position. We'll just try to average it in to the downside right there. Palantir just fell through. Might not be, I mean, we're short Apple, which kind of is like, you know, I'm gonna make on Apple and lose on Palantir here, it looks like. But here comes Apple right back in. We did get a little bit more out. I thought maybe Apple was turning again back up to the upside with this market right there, which gave me an idea for PLTR. How low is
Turning
this?
over?
Yeah, Apple turnovers. Oh yeah, did I just say that? Okay, all right, so.
Oh, I don't know.
That's funny. That's like a Freudian slip right there. I love XLE, by the way, Texas Jet fan. That was the most recent thing I bought was XLE, and we can go over that in a minute. But there's the futures right here. So yeah, 25,000. You know, that's sort of where we dropped off right there, which is what part of the reason why, you know, we shorted Apple, we got the break and everything was all good. And now Apple's really printing, but we'll lose a little bit back here on Palantir for now. But yeah, the futures may be breaking. Here, I'm gonna take another bid here on Apple just because of where it is. We'll see if we get an 18. And then I'm bidding much under that. That's me at 18. We'll see. So you could, every time you're off the one there, it's you know, it's 100 shares is the board lot. There, so you know you could have 110 shares or whatever, but the minute you put 200, like that's 300 shares there with a 3 as it goes, right? And so sometimes on some stocks, like in AT&T or something, you know you'll see way bigger, 7,000 shares, 6,000 shares, and on ETFs like the TQs, because it's so you know algorithmically traded, you'll see tons of thousands and thousands of shares at every level, and tons,
the best is if you look at
going through.
ZSL.
Oh yeah,
ZSL is the best because not only does it have the most absurd liquidity of anything you'll ever see, most of this, and of course it's not going to move when I'm showing you this, like this is 1.5 million shares on ARCA, 1.3 million shares on NSP. When it goes through a level, most of that won't even print. Because it's just silver inverted, like this is like they're just it's like not quote stuffing, it's like market making. So see how it's already going down. A small hit and a third of the level goes because it's just pulling when it prints green. So a lot of this gets pulled. If you wanted to get into this, a lot of times as the level is breaking, half that level is pulling. So it's not nearly as liquid as you might think. But it's wild, that stock. It was so annoying because this stopped me out while I was away from my desk. I had this trend break with this low. It couldn't go. And then it runs the stops at the low of the day. And then that was the move. Like I just heard Fastly is apparently going again.
Yeah.
FSLY. This was one of the I don't know, probably maybe the biggest mover.
That stock broke out.
Yeah, like this is the biggest
already
mover actually on earnings in this earnings season. But it still hasn't broken that earnings high. So that'll be about $19 here. But relative strength is through the roof. And look at the consolidation higher. Like it pulls back yesterday. So it gets 1 day of pullback and we're right back testing highs. This deserves to go back onto the list tomorrow for a breakout play. Into market weakness, this is happening on Fastly. I'm not punching any highs though. I'm favoring the short. I might have missed that curl chance on Intel. Why is this not saving? Save. So we'll see if we can get it there. And then RXT, I was able to get another leg out. It's coming back into VWAP. I'm either going to reload this or just get right out in here. If the move is 130 to 115, so be it. Sometimes you only get a 10% move on a stock like this, and we'll just take that if that's all we get.
All right, I said oh boy there because we are starting to get filled all over the place right now. And, you know, obviously as Apple goes down, we like that, and there it goes. And I probably should have, going long Apple, or getting out of Apple, I did think Apple was going to turn around. I do never, ever think that you need to go. If anybody knows what that reference is besides Neil, put it in the chat.
Oh, I'm not allowed to say.
Of course you're not. That's why I said besides Neil. So we'll see if anybody else has
of course
a reference. We'll see.
Our audience?
But anyways, Yeah, so I'm long Palantir and short Apple, not a recipe for success. But Palantir just came right back in again to these levels and, was looking for a stop out a little lower. Obviously, as I said, Apple's now back into the dollar club, so we're happy with that one as that just continues to come through. And I wish we only had this trade, but now I got to deal with this one over here. So we'll have to wait for Palantir. Remember where our drop spot is on this, man, 135.30. If we do break, we're out as it's trying to get back upside. I may take just a little bit out here in the mid to high 60s, 66 if we can get it, just to relieve some of this pressure because we did take some points. Oh, it just missed me there at 66. Well, hopefully it comes back up. But we did take some out here on Apple, so we'll appreciate the downside play. If Palantir can bounce just a little bit, then sure, we'll take some more out. But yeah, don't really love the way this is looking as the futures basically break that level. Down goes Apple, down goes Fraser, up goes Palantir, hopefully. But for right now, that's what we're hoping for. And hope is not a strategy. Oh, on that note, 6 days until Academy. So that should be a lot of fun. We're really excited to introduce that to you guys. Web-based, available to every single person, man, child, woman, whatever. No matter where you're located, you can grab that. We're gonna be very excited to talk about it as the release date's coming up. So 6 days from today, we'll be releasing it. I don't know what I can show or not for this, but it's going to be really exciting. And maybe tomorrow
I don't know what we can show, but
there we go. You have sort of the website up already.
Boom, boom. No, you can't see it.
Too late.
It's too late. Whatever. I've shown it 3 times.
Okay, good.
Anyone's going to be able to get a chance. Like obviously, there's going to, and you can get a snapshot of it. There are going to be multiple portals to it. It's not just about learning market basics or just learning how your platform works or learning discipline. Like it's everything that's going to be in the journey and in all phases of it. For traders out there. I just saw someone put it, I'm chuckling because someone said the walls of Jericho. And like my first thought was my roommate, you remember, Zane?
Yeah, of course.
So my roommate at university.
No, I don't know that guy.
One of the things we did in first year is every now and then we would just be like, okay.
Palantir's gonna break.
It's just like throw like the sharpshooter on and let's see if you tap or throw the walls of Jericho. Some of those moves are legit. Like, walls of Jericho may be a bit of a garbage one, but you slap a sharpshooter on somebody, you can make them tap. That was always a fun game. So back to VWAP. I've elected to do a reload because it respected VWAP on our RXT. I'm fighting with this one because in my mind it only goes to Raytheon for that name. So we got a VWAP short. It takes more out in front of 120 because we just shorted at 28 again. And then I'm going to give a really tight stop. Like if it so much as breaks 30 at this point, then this one isn't going to be it. So again, going to give it a relatively tight stop in here. What is going on? It's almost power hour. The Qs are still falling.
Nope.
Yikes, Meta just lost VWAP. Yeah, it looks like we're still headed to the downside. I didn't get that reload on Intel, though. Boo.
All right, I mean, everything's starting
Look
to
at this.
everything's starting to break down pretty good right now. That's too bad, man. So we'll have to slap. It's really too bad. Like, we basically just give up some of that Apple trade, obviously, with this Palantir dump. I mean, there it goes. It broke. We didn't start it too early, but we didn't start it good enough. And it's looking like it wants to get pretty red pretty soon right now. So I'm thinking about just flipping over again to that short. I mean, Apple is really printing, so we're really proud of this trade, but not proud to have gotten back in. And I said that, like, you never really wanted to get too much into Palantir there. We didn't have too many shares, but it still does suck to get that loss. Right there again as well. So, okay, we'll see if we can get a bid. Oh, we almost got a bid there, 263.61 or so. There it is. See if we can get that bid at the low right there. We're going to try to maybe flip our day around here by, not our day, but the idea of Palantir into a little bit of a short now that we've broken back down below that level of 135.70 or so, which we were trying to protect. This is what it looks like on a 5-minute chart. So it was right into there, right? Just looking at this level, it looks like we just broke into the low of the day one more time. So if Palantir loses the bid, man, I mean, what a sucky thing, because like you went all the way to 141 there. Now you're going to touch down to 135 and potentially get even lower right now. Palantir giving everything back and more right now. So we're going to go short. Like this is basically where the stock was at open at 9:30. It's 3 o'clock. So, you know, what a good idea to get out of that long right there. Not a great idea to go long near the lows of the day, but we're trying to break lower right now. We're short at 20s. Let's see if it wants to work out. We had used this strategy up into the 25 period. So you could see that's been a good indicator for that short. So I'd like to see a clear break of that in order to get out. So I was thinking right around there. That's almost back to 136. So we'll start to short here, understanding that we may have to average in. It's pretty volatile right now as this market goes. And there still is warnings of Iran and all that kind of stuff right now.
There was just a headline.
Was there?
New NOTAM was issued by Iran showing planned rocket launches within areas across southern Iran on Thursday from 3:30 Greenwich Mean Time to, and then it just skipped away. So, yeah, it's not necessarily great at all. And you're going to see a lot of volatility spiking around. So I know oil markets are closed, obviously, at this point. We're past 230.
Didn't they already blast Iran and took out the whole nuclear situation there? So
What said.
We'll have to figure out what's going on there.
I watch too much Homeland to comment.
We don't. Yeah, just so you guys know, like whether or not you're pro one thing or the other, we're just talking about it
it's just what's
as far as the market is concerned, right? I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it's like when they announced they were going into Ukraine, Russia. There, the market actually rallied for a little bit off of that. So sometimes you got
the sad thing.
Yeah, you got to what?
The market doesn't care. It's if it affects a commodity. Right, like you saw, like it was.
Check out some silver.
Yeah, like when the Ukraine happened, it was all about wheat. It was the wheat market that was going to move around, and it was defense stocks that are going to go. And in this particular case, it's going to be oil. You're going to see the VIX move around because it's a little bit different sometimes in the Middle East. But yeah, yet another reason. I hate to come back to Raytheon, but yet another reason why Raytheon probably keeps on winning, for sure. All right, I'm actually looking at SoFi in here. I was looking for things that were just breaking the volume-weighted average price because we just hit power hour. So if there's a continuation.
Power hour.
Did the power hour thing happen?
I did not see it.
Okay.
It did not.
Andre said that it did. I don't remember hearing it, which is fine. I'm getting old, so I might probably just missed it a minute ago, but it is power hour. So I want things that are failing VWAP in here. So SoFi, this would fit the bill. Unfortunately for SoFi, all morning long, we're talking about SoFi could break out 20. It goes exactly to $20.01 and fails the breakout. Are you kidding me, SoFi? It was set up. Still a chance. This is definitely, unless we have a cratering day today, there's still a chance at this breakout tomorrow. Like I'll probably write down SoFi and put a 20 next to it for a breakout on the 15-minute for tomorrow morning. Hopefully the market doesn't do too bad to take this trade off of the table, but I like the drop-down consolidation. It just wasn't happening today for SoFi.
We were just talking about gold and metal, and in a world of gold and silver, volatility isn't necessarily everything. It's not necessarily a hurdle, it's an opportunity. But harnessing it requires, of course, the right tools. Beta Pro by Global X delivers that edge as Canada's first and longest running suite of levered, inverse, and inverse levered ETFs. Beta Pro provides a decisive way to engage with metal markets through 2 times daily bull and 2 times daily bear exposure. These funds are built for the precision and momentum the modern markets demand. Designed for sophisticated Canadian day traders who understand the risks of leverage and the power of tactical response, Beta Pro provides the agility to navigate market moves in either direction. Just don't follow the gold and silver markets. Position yourself for what's next. Discover the suite at betapro.ca. And thank you to Beta Pro for their continued sponsorship. So of course, we're going long there on Palantir, and then we're going short. So we're just getting whipped around. Yeah, exactly. What's up to NAKUL? Look, this is, it's never, you never want to lose every trade. But you could see right here, where is it here? There it is. Yeah, what's up? I'll send this out. Yeah, now Palantir rallies. So yeah, I mean, that's sometimes that's what happens. And now, as you mentioned, Palantir rallies. So nothing we can do about it. You just kind of stick to your strategies and hope that they work out. So we'll average that up. And, we're going to wait for a 136 break, which is right into there. Did not expect this kind of, obviously, a rally in the market. We did take the opportunity to get out of some more Apple. But like you can see, Apple's not really rallying. So as the market goes back upside, it looks like Palantir will work. It's so funny because that's part of the reason why we went long on Palantir is we thought it was a little stronger than the rest, right? And obviously now it clearly is, as it's just blasting right back to the upside on a little bit of a futures move now. And of course, if there's more struggles with Iran or whatever, it would make a little bit of sense that Palantir would become more important to the U.S. government as a foundry play and as a defense name. So we'll wait to see where Palantir settles. But yeah, it's on a nice upside move as we speak. So hopefully it comes back in. We're short right now at 43s. I'm full. I'm not going to average more into this as we just took that trade rate. Oh, sorry.
I think part of the problem is someone just said in the chat that it's like gold and silver aren't hedges anymore. They're just moving with the market. Sentiment matters. It's like gold and silver haven't pulled back enough so they can turn back into, you know, risk off type of safe haven assets. And then Palantir, maybe that still hasn't pulled back enough for it to get credited as a defense stock anymore. It's a weird one. Like you would think in this time of when more turmoil is happening that Palantir should be stronger, but I guess it's still in this pullback from the valuation high. That could be it, but you have to understand momentum that's just how the market works, and rotation is how the market works, and that's really all it's about. And I believe, like gold to me is still going to be a safe haven, but when metals do what they do, it's hard for it to keep that behavior when it's going parabolic. So RXT, seriously, I'm gonna get it right. Raytheon is like it's like an actual company. It's like imagine if there was, remember when there was TLSA? Like if you couldn't trade that stock without thinking Tesla, TSLA. Anyway, so RXT, it broke VWAP, reloaded it, but gave a pretty tight stop in there. It never got to the dollar. Effectively, the initial short was like a 130 into 115, but when you're breaking VWAP, if it's a small cap or holding VWAP, I don't want any part of it. So I wanted to break down underneath the volume weighted average price. That's gonna leave, let's see what SoFi is doing. I was gonna say that leaves Intel, which is not bouncing. It's like everything else wants to bounce so that you can get a short if you want it, with the exception of Intel to be able to get back in. And then I said SoFi potentially at VWAP. So it just challenged VWAP here and is now looking to close back underneath. So if we close underneath the volume weighted average price, I might take a shot with a 1982 or 83 stop on SoFi. And yeah, JC Money, I'll mix up symbols all the time. Like I still say to this day ZLS instead of ZSL.
There's Fabian.
Fabian's always on a ladder, by the way. He's living on ladders these days. But but by the way, Fabian, you still didn't prove that you can do pull-ups. Well, I mean, no, we didn't get 2,000 likes, but so does that apply every single day? Okay, so Fabian has said that if on only the afternoon stream, that's cold-blooded. Okay, well, he's qualifying it now that it has to be the afternoon stream, and that if the afternoon stream gets to 2,000 likes, which it's not at 2, I have to refresh this. If we ever get to 2,000 likes on the afternoon stream, Fabian, there he is, will start doing pull-ups or chin-ups, do whatever you want, on this little, like, of the rigging we have for the lights. And it is strong enough to support.
As long as the whole thing doesn't come down.
No, when they installed it, I remember the guy actually was like, man, these are so strong you could do pull-ups on it. And he was a big enough dude, and he was hanging on it.
Okay.
And he was bigger than me. So I would imagine it's certainly strong enough. That said, we are only at 460, 5,000 watching. Y'all don't want to see this dude do pull-ups? I want to see him do pull-ups. 5,200 watching and 480 likes and creeping higher. We have 1 hour. If everybody watching right now,
entertained?
or half of you just hit the like button,
entertained?
This man will be doing this.
All right. Bruh.
I think you could do.
Come on, bruh.
I'm gonna say.
Come on, bruh.
You do 10?
Yeah, I could do 10.
Fabian looks like he could do 10.
10 would be impressive.
But he you know, I get the feeling that he'd probably do 10. You probably do like rock climbing and stuff.
Oh, I love climbing.
See,
Okay.
sometimes you could just tell. Because you're a lot like my brother, and you and my brother have seemingly a lot in common. And he's also in a rock. Well, I don't know if he's scrappy.
All right. Well, hopefully we can
scrappy.
get the 3,000. Hopefully we can get the 3,000 likes, man. We got 2,000 only.
Only 2.
What?
5,000 watching. We only have to get
Fabian,
to 2.
start
We're
doing the
already at
push-ups. Starting to
750.
get ready.
We're already at 750.
Get ready, Fabian.
Yeah, you better warm up, by the way.
Start getting ready. That's going to happen.
You're going to have to warm up.
Very, very soon. All right, guys, we'll check out the top traders yesterday at Real Trading when we get back from Adara.
I'll be quick. I just want to let you guys know, U.S. President Trump is said to be speaking at some point soon. It's supposed to start at 3 p.m., so only about 8 minutes later. Trump set to participate in a Black History Month reception. Again, not on its face market moving or market related, but we never know. He can be saying anything at any time related to the market. And given what Caroline Leavitt kind of teased about this reception, it sounds like he's mostly just going to be talking about the market and the economy. So just be aware here, Trump will be speaking soon. I will be keeping you posted if there is anything and everything that is market moving. Also, over the next hour, I'm going to be showing you guys some infographics related to the earnings that are coming out after the bell. So please stay tuned. Back to you.
I mean,
I know one of those names that's reporting tonight.
Ooh, Carvana.
Think that won't move? That's a mover.
That's a mover for sure. All right, it won't be me on this list today, but let's go find out who's making all the money. All right. Yeah, we've been on this list before, but like I said, not yesterday, not today. There's 18.8. So these are, so we sit here at Real Trading. They'll be part of the discussion in the Trader TV Academy as well, learning about the software, learning about different markets, and I mean, not specifically the markets, but the opportunities that are out there, the structure of the market and whatnot. But there's Nasdaq, there's a TSX. So these are traders and the markets they traded. This is US dollars. So the TSX, I mean, you know, we are located here in Toronto, Ontario, and there is a lot of traders that do trade the Canadian markets around these here joints. So there's Canada right there, Nasdaq again. So two big Nasdaq traders there yesterday pushing buttons. Amex and Nasdaq, Amex. So there's nothing interesting on here at all. New York, Nasdaq. So if you trade multiple markets, like this could be an SLV and an Apple trade, something like that, or multiple trades on multiple names as we go. And as we look at individual traders by market, there's someone, you know, we talked about Blue Ocean. We've had Jeff Mendel on for Moon as well. So that all gets sort of grouped as together as the after hours trading starts going. Okay, here comes Palantir to the downside. That's finally starting to hit a little bit. We're now profitable on that trade. Blue Ocean, there's TSX Venture Exchange, New York. Shout out to the Australian market, man. Great weather over there. And then Turkey, LSE, so on and so forth. There's OTC Pink at the end of that. So shout out to Jeff. I don't know if sometimes he comes on Thursdays. That's tomorrow. Okay. So we'll see if Jeff wants to come through tomorrow. We'll close that out there. Here comes Palantir.
He's technically he's literally on the calendar today.
Today?
Yes.
But it's
only because you just mentioned it.
Oh, was it Wednesdays he comes through?
It is. He just.
What time?
Well, I mean, 30 minutes ago.
30 minutes ago. So that was Jeff Mendel today. So ladies and gentlemen, shout out to
Just email this guy. Be like, when are you coming on next, Jeff?
Yeah, man. I mean, I always email that guy.
He's always too busy golfing.
Yeah, man. We need a vest from him. He's going to bring us those moon hats, he had said.
Yeah,
there. Okay, man. Here we go, man. The sky is not falling, but it's falling a little bit for us here on PLTR. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm bidding 40s. There it is. We get it. So nice. Or did I get it? Yes, we did. So nice move down there for PLTR. Now really starting to pump through. And again, I take it like we get the idea that maybe it's a short. We have to stress out about it right there, and then it just comes right back in. So we go, yeah, buddy, as now the market, we starting to blow up now, baby, in this market. So let's go to the downside. Our account's starting to blow up a little bit here, so that's good. As there goes Apple downside. We're now $1.50 in the, with that one there. So that continues. You know what, maybe we'll just punch out a little bit more here at 40s if we can. There it is, nice downside move here. We'll see if we get a 34 print because that was still there. And now we'll get to the downside. So here goes Apple. And all we were waiting for was sort of this. We had seen the 50-period moving average. We were waiting for VWAP right there. There's a nice move into the downside. And now we're just going to wait to see what winds up happening. I'm hearing in our ear, you did as well, that I guess they're pulling some of their troops from Syria in anticipation of Iran conflict. So as conflict hits the market, never a good thing. But I'm short, basically. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just going to mention here with regards to Iran conflict, because Caroline Leavitt was actually asked about it a couple different times during that press conference she held around 1 to 2. And one thing she said that there would be a lot of reasons to strike Iran, but Trump wants to be diplomatic, and they're going to start there, and they're going to try for that. So it was, kind of coming out aggressive right off the gate, but ending at a place of diplomacy, I guess, to summarize those comments from Caroline Leavitt. I still haven't seen Trump yet. You guys know I'll let you know once I do.
All right.
Trumpet? Did you say trumpet? Trumpet? The ghost ship.
Yeah, I just put this out because I want to explain this because, so I just set my blotter always in US dollars. So I don't really.
Yeah, everyone does.
I don't, no, I don't, I don't think Obi does, to be honest with you.
You said Susan Cat?
I'm pretty sure I had, or somebody does.
Okay, well,
it might be Joe or Sharif. I
shouldn't speak in certainties. Oh, most traders I know set them to U.S.
Yeah, same. So
even if you trade Toronto, you set it. Most traders set it to U.S.
Yeah, so we'll find out. But I'm pretty sure it was one of the three. I know it's not you, but I'm pretty. It doesn't matter. So here at Real Trading, because we trade all these different markets, you can actually set your, we call it a blotter, but you can set your P&L report basically to whatever currency you want, and then it will use. I think it just uses a. It's not like a fluctuating. I think it just maybe uses whatever the current.
Yeah, there's like a daily. There's a daily currency rate. If you're at Real Trading, this matters. Like it's a daily currency rate that it'll use for conversions that day. Yep. That's not necessarily. That's not the same thing as your settlement rate at the end of the month, because that's like static when they do settlements at the end of the month. But like every single day, I just can't imagine. Most people, you focus on the U.S. markets, you're probably going to use.
Well, I mean, I can see Luis. I mean, this guy's. I mean, he's trading U.S. markets, but he might set it to euros.
Okay, I guess. Yeah, I can see the reason why you would. People are asking what is up with this stock or that stock. NVIDIA is down because the markets are rolling over. You're going to see the same thing on AMD. Why is fourth on the drop down when I type in AMD? That's continuing to go lower. As you also have the Qs, which are falling. Like pretty much everything is heading to the downside. If it's not heading to the downside, it is probably the VIX. VIX, small cap, or a defense stock. Like that's probably what's heading, not heading to the downside. Let's go back to the desk. Adara, what do you have for us?
As promised, guys, I'm going to be teasing out some of these earnings that we have after the bell. Figma has not been doing too well after its IPO on July 31st, 2025, but that doesn't mean it can't get some kind of bounce. Last quarter, it did report better than expected revenue and EPS, with revenue growing 38% year over year. But if you're like, hey, Adara, I want more details, where can I see this in full screen? X at TTV Research, that's where. Again, I'm going to continue teasing out these earnings names before the bell, but just be aware. I also want to mention, I have more context, Sean and Neil and everybody, on that headline about Syria. So Wall Street Journal reporting, yes, that the U.S. is withdrawing all forces from Syria. However, this withdrawal not related to the deployment of forces for potential Iran strikes. So not related, according to that Wall Street Journal article. Again, whether you or not you believe this is up to you, it was just a report. But either way, it sounds like the reported withdrawal of forces from Syria unrelated to potential strikes at Iran. Back to you.
Okay. Thank you, Adara. And just for everyone that's asking, the aftermarket show will be back on Wednesday for NVIDIA earnings. Tonight, Figma, CVNA, certainly they're not bad, but certainly NVIDIA is the next big one, and that's for sure going to be a huge show. No questions asked. Yeah, like I said, if you're strong right now, you are Lockheed Martin is at the highs, the 52-week highs it made today.
Give me 05.
RTX, Raytheon is at highs. These stocks are strong. Pretty much everything else is headed to the crapper as we speak. So if you shorted anything in the last few minutes, it looks like the sentiment is going in the other direction. I'm shooting for 1955. November 5th, 1955. On SoFi here, is this pulling back off the volume weighted average price. Didn't really get my fill at 77. I had to chase it down to 75 a little bit. But we'll see if this one can also fall. I wanted SoFi to break 20. I'm still going to want it to break 20 tomorrow. But I'm looking at this 19.5. Just the same range as yesterday in the afternoon for it to pull back here. Play it by those quarters. It's not looking very good. There hasn't been a green candle on a 15-minute in the Nasdaq since, well, it doesn't even, there's like 8 in a row, maybe even 10. Nasty.
Just letting you guys know, Trump just began speaking here at this Black History Month reception event. If there is anything market related, I'll let you know. Just want to keep you posted on that.
Okay, thank you, Adara. I'm trying to find out how much I lost on that first Palantir going through my blotter. I just have so many fills. It's really stupid. I'm really glad that it is easy to just keep track of it all, once the day's over. But yeah, I just wanted to say, like, down goes Palantir, man. I mean, we were telling you, give me that 05, give me that 05. I took 08s instead, right there. It's basically, nice little fallback. And I was waiting. That was 05, the very bottom. And I was just like, whatever. But there's the move down. Good trade, man. We still have half of the trade. And on that note, I'm going to take one more piece out here at 29. There it is. We cross up and get it. So we take a fill there at 29. Lots of liquidity going through right now. And just since we've been starting this, man, I know, that's what I was trying to figure it out. I know we made a lot of money on Apple, and we went short there at 220s, 225. So you guys definitely were with me for this trade. And Obviously, I need, take way too many outs, but that's okay. They're all really small, and that's part of it, man. I wish I kind of wish that our board lots were only certain numbers, and then I'd just be forced to take out bigger amounts instead of just little ones all the way down. But there it is. So, all the way to the downside, 263.40 right there. Looking at some interesting levels right there. Yeah, we've now broken below on Palantir. So here's a 5-minute chart. This is really what we were shorting off of, a break. So I was going long, as you guys... Here, if I call up Palantir, I was going long into right here, into 135.50, right into there, into the 200 period. Once we lost it and started to go to the downside, that's when we started to think about going short. Then the Syria-Iran news, sort of, I guess it's more Iran news, and U.S. started to come through. We do hear, as Adair just mentioned, that some diplomatic talk, hopefully from President Trump, would make this all go away a little bit, or at least the fears in the market be eased there. I don't know. Let me see. This is H contract. So CL, so let me see if there's anything else that's doing a little bit more volume. We could go, the February is going to be nothing. So I don't even know why I clicked on that. Oh, God, now it's going to, no, I think I've frozen.
I know it.
Oh, here you go. All right, so March, let's check out April. So it's the April contract. So the March contract only had 80,000 shares, 80,000 contracts traded.
That's
J. So right now, I don't know if anybody put in the chat, but I saw that J is the current contract. And as you can see, there a lot of strife sort of right now in the Middle East, and maybe ratcheting up, is that the right word? Tensions.
It is now.
So this is almost as tense as it was watching that Canada-Czech Republic game where we took the overtime. We are like minus 800 favorites or something like that. But anyways, where's Russell at? I gotta tell him, he's a big Canada fan there too. I want to see if he even knows. He's the guy walking around fixing all this.
Don't like our chances if you can't. You're supposed to.
Here goes oil, by the way.
Dominate. There's certain teams.
Yeah. And
when
that's
playing well.
Sid got hurt, so that could be a little bit of a problem there. But okay, XLE. Yeah, this is a name that this is the most recent sort of equity or instrument that I had bought. XLE, and that was right here, breaking through 50. I haven't really done any shopping in a long time. We did buy some SoFi at 22 and at 25, so those are both out of the money right now. But XLE was a good break. I guess it was just, when was this? 30th or so of January. So, last couple of weeks, nice huge move, 10% on oil for the month of February. So good move there for XLE. I still think it continues higher. We saw the breakout of a silver and a gold, so maybe. Now it's time for this asset class to go for a run. All right, so just so you guys know, we are very, very light now on Apple, obviously, as this breaks. And I do have a stop order. My stop order was at 50s, where this was the 50-period moving average, because we've crossed across the 21 a bit, right? If I have a big position, I don't mind getting out like we did right there. Now that we have less and less, let's just use this as our stop, 263.85. So we'll cancel our fill right there. We can put it in together. 263. This is something that's changed. Normally I'd hold, and maybe even average in at these spots or things like that. But since we're out and we only have about that 15% left, let's just hold. And if we get that out, then we can take it out. For Palantir, I see some questions about where are we getting out on this one. You could use the same level, the 50-period moving average. And actually on Palantir, my script was still at 136 to break. And someone in the chat said, where are you getting out? And I was like, I'm going to hold till 136. So I feel like that's still okay. We'll watch it. If it breaks above 66 or 67, we'll manually punch out of a little bit. And now that I say that, let me punch out of a little bit here. We'll punch the 40 level, get a little bit more out. I'm still waiting for lower in case we crack. I'm bidding 135s again. So hopefully we can get back into this level and then do our own thing down there. So that's something that I'm looking forward to here on the futures. And on Palantir, we're looking for a lower bid. So hit that like button, man. I see over there he's pumping some iron.
929.
Oh, 929. Oops, I got to refresh this. Right, 929 only? Okay. Let's see. Let's get those over 1,000 right now. Yeah. So we have 1,000 more likes, and Fabian will do 6 chin-ups on our... you can see right here, these bars.
I think he can do 10.
Oh, 10. Is that... I remember...
Well, I just guessed that he could do 10. He doesn't have to do 10. Okay. As long as you put an effort, like what you can do. So for myself here, we just bounced... Look, we're able to close. We're not even going to close underneath this bar, but we came into that morning support level on SoFi, which was a target. It was right here, 955. So this is where it was at the open. This is where it broke out after the liquidity grab. So once I saw some buyers step in, just trailed out of it and looked for maybe the next sort of type opportunity. I want something that gives that kind of a risk reward. Like it shows me the fail at 80s, try to get 77s or got 75s, so the 5-cent stop. You play it a little better than 1-to-1 for support and then hold through to the low. If I can find another setup like that, great. It doesn't look like the continuation trade on Intel is going to work. And you're like, oh, but why not just short Intel? I've had this question before. It's like, well, why not just short Intel here? And so my answer is this, and I actually was just talking about this with somebody today. For myself, yeah, it's trending down, but if I don't have an out to my trade, then I don't have an in. And if my out is this trend line, then it's reasonable to have tried to reshort it here when I was thinking VWAP or maybe even here. But if I'm shorting it there, I'm just not a fan. Because then when it gets into this price area, like what am I doing with it? Am I just shorting it and then holding it against me? Like I like to try to, if I'm playing the trend line, got to be able to get in here when it gave me that chance and not chase it down where I wouldn't know where I'm putting my stop. Like if I'm putting my stop up here on Intel, like 25 cents for a stop on Intel is kind of nuts because then you're in that 0.5% range when usually I'm trying to play moves like that size on Intel, then hold some for the rest. So it just comes down to risk reward. That's why looking for a setup that works, win, lose, or draw. Like even like the example, like RXT would be an example. I just actually said it right. See, I didn't say RTX this time. Kind of proud of myself for that because usually I mucked it up probably 17 times today on RXT. No, I was just waiting for trend to break, play it into that trend break. I cannot stand to look at how poorly I drew this trend line. That's much better. It just needs to align with the one on my black chart to show you this is why I'm getting in. There's your uptrend. There's your hold. There's the break. You're shorting the breakdown of the trend line. My stop is here. I try a reloaded VWAP when I move the stop down. But again, it's just a matter of finding an entry point to your trade, whatever it might be. Depending on your style, you just have to have some kind of a plan of action. There was also CDIO, cardio diagnostics. Unfortunately, it didn't really do a very good job of holding VWAP, so this is even, well, it's retesting it now, but it looks like this one could be a little bit dead for the day. 92% up, probably, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this was the best small capper. I didn't see one that was better than this, so let's just call it the best small capper out there. But I'm trying to find something else that I like to jump into. So SoFi worked, Intel worked, RTX was good, not great. Maybe if we go back over to IBIT. Might be something going on with IBIT here. That doesn't work for me. But it's breaking that little downtrend. So when you draw a trend line, it's got to be a significant event. Either it's from the high of day, which I could do that, and it's breaking that one. I could kind of eyeball it and see that. Or it could be from this flat bottom break, and then there's a trend line, but it's breaking that as well. So then for myself, IBIT wouldn't be a short entry here. I'd have to wait for it to go a little bit higher, maybe play back into VWAP. Early look on the imbalances, one significant name.
Sure, we're getting close to
and Adara will like this one. You guys so you guys all just saw Oracle was there for 1.2 million to sell and then instantly disappeared. The second I said Adara would like this one.
Why is Oracle hating on me? No, I'm joking. Like, I honestly don't care what this thing does intraday, day in, day out. I'll go long intraday if I have to because I have conviction in this thesis until things change.
So this is just the early look. In 23 minutes, we'll get the actual imbalances. Worksport, for anyone interested in that one, is 900,000 shares, but that's a $1 stock, so it probably doesn't matter. SOXS is a buy of 2.7 million, but that's one of those leveraged ETFs, so it's a $2 stock, so that's not a big number. ZSL, same thing, 1.5 million to buy, but it's again $2 stock, so that's not that significant either. It would have been interesting if Oracle was actually 2 million. If we see that come back, Oracle's done 10 million shares on the day. So if I see that show up a little bit closer, that would be a significant sell imbalance on Oracle, and it has lost VWAP. But I don't like when they play games with the, hey, there's an imbalance, then it disappears 2 seconds later, then it shows up, then it disappears. No, I just want to see it show up, stay, and then just play the trade. But if it's not going to do that, then I'm not going to touch Oracle. We'll have to try to find something else. IBIT didn't look like a setup. Intel's too far gone to the downside. Not really seeing anything I like for a re-entry to the short. Not that I want to. Someone just said, have they reviewed Netflix?
We can.
We can. I'm not in anything, and Netflix is actually relatively strong. Definitely not shorting this. I'll tell you that much. Because Netflix has put in this little nice bottom here at 75 after yesterday, and it's kind of bucking the weakness in the market. Like it's holding VWAP. It's coming back into some of those highs. This one doesn't seem. If anything, Netflix is very gently uptrending and looking for that one big day, which hopefully something like this sets up tomorrow. I know I said SoFi $20 would be a potential breakaway trade. I know we shorted it now, but I still like that 20 break tomorrow on them. Frederick Von Yummy Pants, again, has a super chat. CC reports tomorrow it's up 60% since January 7th. That better be a significant day for this random stock. I'm going to assume they reported or something, which ain't bad for a company that inherited the Circuit City ticker symbol. Anyway.
City.
Yeah, like
Here, that was Radio Shack.
Like Mohammed once said, you can't go broke taking profits. Oh, I see what you did there. How you spell profits. That's a pretty good pun. I'll take it. It's also true that you could go broke taking profits. The way that you could do it would be, I'm just going to use this stock as an example. Whatever, I don't really know much about it. I don't know anything about it. Let's imagine you were long at 20 and you took a bunch of profit at 20, 10, 20, 30, like just little micro profits, but then held the bulk of it to $17. Then you could go broke because you weren't taking very large wins relative to what you were losing. So technically
Market cranking here lower. Palantir just made a nice
Are we?
move. I don't know what just happened there. Palantir just sort of elevated to the downside there. All of a sudden it just started printing 20s. It was at 40s and it started to go to the downside. So someone's swiping lower, swiper no swiping. On Dora the Explorer there, but yeah, see it just swipe. It was just chilling, and I was like, okay, we got a 40 fill, and then it went whoosh all the way down and printed something in 20s, and I just quickly reacted and got 32s. So it did. Someone wiped that thing down there into the 20s. So it was a good little takeout for profit there. And as I said, remember I said if we break the 50 period, let's start to think about it. So we did that, and then we get out. There goes Apple to the upside breaking, and now we're flat. So perfect. Apple out there, out. So now we can. Rest assured, we're out of Apple as the market starts to go back up to the upside, and there's the breakout, and really happy with that trade there. So, always wondering like maybe it's always best just to wait until that, and that would be my only out. But it looks like almost about half of my outs are sort of underneath that and above it. So I got to run some trades through the old mixer there and figure out where the real trades are and what we should be doing, because maybe we should always wait for the 50 period moving average. And we did take advantage of that Palantir whoosh, as we said right there, and the futures trying to figure it out. Because I'm short, I would like to see the futures go negative, but also not really like to, because if we close anywhere near the lows today, plus Iran, plus, I don't know, I haven't really heard anything negative too much yet from the president, and if there is, then that could really start to create a problem. So would be nice to see it move down for my position, but overall the future is still intact right now, up 0.5%. I mean, the day started pretty badly, and then nice move back, and there goes. When is the State of the Union anyways?
Oh,
I think that's.
I haven't a clue.
It's coming up, right? The State of the Union is at the beginning of every year.
I don't remember the date.
I could find out. That should be something to look forward to. It still is. Snow outside.
Gemini knows.
Yeah. Late February.
Why is this taking so long, Gemini? It's not that hard of a question. February 24th.
Boom.
Why did that take more than 5 seconds, Gemini? I'll blame my computer. That's not Gemini's fault. So February 24th, that is next. So it's a big week. You get State of the Union and you get NVIDIA earnings.
I don't think he's going to talk about NVIDIA, but he might.
Well, probably not. Wait, well, it's actually...
Come on, pal.
You may talk about China. But the other thing important, I believe it is SMR reports the day after. I was just looking over things that might be giving an entry to a short. Just reminding myself mentally that SMR is still potentially flat bottom breaking under this 14. The problem is it's not 14. There's actually support down here in like the 1370 to 80 range that's holding on to. Because there was one big flush, this one, and then it's this lower high, like 1375. It just bounced off it again here. So I think there's a little bit of a gap fill if you break this 1375 tomorrow. But I wouldn't short it at these lows. Might not be anything that's setting up all that great. I did see that SN SE Sensei. Sensei? Is it Sensei or Sensei? Probably Sensei.
Both.
This was a weird one because I remember reading the headline. They made an acquisition, SNSE, and they're up like 220% because they made an acquisition. A lot of times an acquiring company doesn't necessarily do this. But that was the news I saw this morning for them, and it's kind of floating around.
Yeah, it's the acquisition plus a $200 million concurrent private placement. So it's a little 1-2.
A 1-2 punch, you say. But I don't like the spread on the stock, 20, 30 cent spread. That's a full percentage point spread. And look at this action. Look almost like a manipulative price action when you see this kind of nonsense. And there's almost no liquidity on the book. But this is a small capper that's going. I thought maybe CDIO, but it's again failing VWAP. The problem with this one is I wanted to try a long on it, and it doesn't look like it's setting up for any kind of a long on CDIO. That's not going to be the setup. And we could jump back to Intel. Maybe that's going to give us an entry. Running out of time for it to retest the trend line. If it happens way too close to 350, then I'm not taking the entry because I don't want it to just come out some random buy imbalance, which renders this completely pointless. But if we can pop, 10, 15 cents in here in the next few minutes, then shorting Intel into 45.5 would make some sense. Just want to make sure we get this one on the trend line for sure. And Jam Loki. Remember, $. I see you do it now. You want to talk about VVPR, Vivo Power, which is doing a decent amount, but not that much volume. Make sure you put that $sign on all your symbols. 17%. But like everything else I'm looking at in small cap land, no chance at follow through. Under VWAP, trending down. Nothing is running. Why is there nothing running out? I want to see something running. And Pops Mafia, I'm talking to the chat. If I'm not in something and waiting, I throw the chat up and then just sort of just trying to talk to everybody and try to answer some questions if we can. But I'm looking for something which has a chance to run in small cap land going into the close because we're too close to the imbalances to maybe fight with something that's going to follow the market. Yeah,
no, for sure. We're I'm getting out, so we're just getting out of Palantir here as it comes back up. We still have 136 on our sites. I mean, we're short at 135.86. So yeah, we don't want to be necessarily part of this if the market breaks, especially on a imbalance. There's our out there. Let's check on what was happening with Robinhood. Robinhood was a good trade for us until this happened, as we were trying to go long on Robinhood there, and it was good. We'll wind up, up to flat on the stock. I mean, nothing like, Palantir, what we did in Apple there. But yeah, there was the break of the sort of afternoon low for Robinhood as Bitcoin 66. I mean, still getting a little lower on the crypto side of things right now. And, as we worry about, we just talked about Fed not going to make any rate cuts, so that shouldn't really be too much of a drag for Bitcoin. But down near 66,000, there just hasn't been really a positive story to really get Bitcoin going. And I don't really know what that's going to be. I mean, Tom Lee's been quiet. We saw MSTR as well, MicroStrategy with Sailor. Doing its own thing lately as well, and just kind of hovering, waiting for, a big move. There was another buy the other day of MSTR, purchasing more crypto and or more Bitcoin. So I think if you do believe in it, I think you're in the right space looking at, BTC rather than maybe an Ethereum or something like that. This is ETHA today. I saw that it had broken below that 2,000 mark, so I don't think it's back. Right now, still down 2%, and kind of similar to Bitcoin, where you've been chopped more than in half. I mean, the high for Ethereum was over $5,000, or basically just $5,000, and there's $37. Now you're down to $14. So, ouch. This is Tom Lee's BMNR, and this is it coming all the way back down again. So, yeah, there's the cross as well. That gave a little bit of a bump, and then whoosh, all the way to the downside. Gap fill over the weekend, and then, downside there. Yeah, ETHA and the rest of this market really maybe that struggling.
Is a dead cat bounce soon.
Right now, I mean, at some point, it's got to think about it. I mean, Bitcoin itself now down, what was it, 125? So it's, or 128, I think, to 66. The only thing so down like 47%.
The only crypto I sold near, it wasn't even at the highs. On the way up is a better way to put it, because I didn't sell ETH at the highs. I was trimming ETH, but I wasn't trimming it at the highs. I was trimming it on the way up because I wanted to be more Bitcoin than ETH. But then on this last dip, I kept thinking 50 after the break of 72, and I haven't actually put that ETH money into Bitcoin. Now ETH is down so far, I'm like, maybe I should just put it back into ETH at this point. That might even be the play. See in the chat, people are saying have a look at IREN. Don't know necessarily was there a catalyst this morning, or is it just that the market was
They're off
strong?
earnings for a while. What is it doing?
That's what I was going to say, because it ran pretty nicely this morning. It could have just been, yeah, you know what? I don't know. I don't know why this one was up this morning. For this afternoon, I think maybe this could be a reverse at VWAP, but I'm not seeing anything obvious on IRN. There were a lot of strong stocks this morning that reversed, so it could just be that. All of that said, look at the range on IRN. I hate to do this, but I mean, that's a flat bottom break if it loses $40, or even like $39.75. Just looking for the next potential trade here. If that were to lose the bid, pretty nice gap to the downside. That's a big if at this point. But yeah, market's trying to bounce here, and the stock that I want to bounce to reshort it is not bouncing. Good part. It's too close to the low. Yeah, I'm not going to fight it. There's just no point on that trade. Maybe SoFi sets up again. Like SoFi is bouncing, so maybe this can come in, get a support turning into resistance. I don't mind that. Maybe just give this to this prior low, 1967 or so. So if I see you go to topping tail candle or some kind of a curl, we got 10 minutes to imbalances. I'll look for a play in this range, but I got to see an entry here on SoFi just to go back to one that was working. And we're going to go to Adara again.
We're going to talk here about, again, I mentioned I'm going to tease out some of the earnings for you after the bell. Unfortunately, we will not be covering them because there is no afternoon show. But if you do check things out at XOTTV Research, you'll get a sense right when things are going to report. And also, again, what analysts are expecting. So here is a look. This isn't the Carvana earnings preview because it doesn't look that good at the big screen. You can check it out on XOTTV Research. But here is a look at Carvana's retail units sold and year-over-year growth in retail units sold over the last, 3 or 4 fiscal years. As you can see, it's been steady sequential growth and an increase in year-over-year growth over the last couple quarters. So let's see if that continues. We'll find out at 4:05 p.m. when CVNA, a new entry, maybe one of the newest additions to the S&P 500, shares their earnings report. Furthermore, earnings galore, guys. Here's a look at some of the biggest names reporting earnings before the bell tomorrow and their implied moves. By far the largest going to Klarna, though Lemonade a close second. Smallest implied moves going to John Deere and Walmart. So keep an eye on this visual X at TTV Research. This will also be reposted right before the earnings start coming out tomorrow morning. Back to you.
Yes, sir. Going to be a good one tomorrow, I think, because we haven't looked at Carvana. Okay, one shot. Come on, turn around. If it turns, even just a little bit of a turn, I'll look to take a shot. But Carvana, baby. Okay, I will be very surprised if Carvana is not double digits. Look at what this stock has been doing recently. It's been woodshed is not the right word because look, it used to be under $5, so you can't say that this stock is woodshedded, but it's finally under the 200 period. It's spent time under before, but if it can't hold on this time, there's a ways that this could head lower. It's probably the best turnaround story from a stock price perspective that I think I've ever seen.
I mean, that was Left for Dead. That was $3 or $4.
I cannot think of a stock that was under $5 that's ever done this. I can't. And it's one thing to be $5 and because you're a young stock. It's another thing to die down to $5 and then bounce. That's obviously lots of things have been cheap and then blown out. So just to make sure everyone understands what I'm getting at here, is Carvana. Nothing I've ever seen has done this. It's a $350 stock that went underneath $10 and then eventually broke back out in a reasonable time. That's absolutely insane. All while there were plenty of people waiting for the next meme stock. It's were you not seeing what Carvana was doing? It was the meme stock. Forget about all the other stuff that people wanted to go. It was always about this. I feel like it's in a bit of an unwind, and I think we'll get confirmation of that tonight and tomorrow. Because you could easily bounce this 200 period, but if we lose this contain here, there's a lot of bleed that could happen in Carvana for sure. And Anurag, I have not checked the short float on this in quite some time. And you know what? I'm going to do it at a different source. And there's nothing against. I just want to make sure. I don't know. I found FinViz to be a lot more reliable. 11% short float. That's significantly lower than it was before. This was in the 20s. I believe at the end of last year, or at least close to it. Now it's only 11% short float.
Well, that was part of the story with that. There was a short.
Obviously, shorts got to cover to make money. Yeah, it's not that I'm not saying FinViz is the best. I found more recently that when you get discrepancies in short float, oftentimes you just go when there's like 3 or 4 sources, which one seems the most consistently aligned with the others, and I find that to be true on FinViz, and it's all just an estimate anyways. But there was one we were talking about today or something that was like 50 to 60%, and I went to FinViz and it was, and I went to FinViz and it was vastly different on FinViz. Yeah,
what else? What else? What other sites do people use?
There used to be remember that?
I know there was one.
There was a website that had all the top 4 or 5, and you would just go there.
I mean,
like Wendy's on FinViz is 18%,
okay,
and another source had it over 50.
Yeah, 58% did Benzinga.
What are we doing?
That's why I was like that. I mean, to me, that was part of the squeeze play there.
Right.
Here, like sometimes I'll use Google Finance to check. Does this have anything here? No, cash flow, balance sheet. Yeah, no, probably
Yahoo does.
Does it? Yeah, I was going to say maybe Yahoo does as well. This is just Apple. I thought maybe there would be something there. But let us know in the chat if there's any sites that you guys use for that reference for short flows.
Why is this default to Yahoo Finance Canada?
Obviously why.
I know why.
Okay, so we took another piece out on Palantir at 50 as it just dipped back in. We do have those imbalances now in 5 minutes, so you know this trade is probably squashed. Our stop is still there. We don't have many shares left, so it's all good right now. But yeah, still, you know, getting back up to the upside. Whenever I see this, I was like, oh man, we could have just cashed it all out down there. But we were thinking even lower. So you know, all good. We did get that dollar, and now we'll lose. Okay, wait a minute. Where's my out? 136.06, so slightly above 136 there. I never really stop out at the exact dollar, so we'll give it a little bit of a run there. We're short at 87 still, so it'll be about 20 cents if and when I guess right now it gets taken out. And yeah, so far so good there. I'm pretty happy with the end result of this trade, even though it looks like we will get stopped out of the last piece, and that's what it's all about. For me, take some out where the profits are there, and then see if you can't get a little bit of a bigger hit, bigger move, you know, to capture. So we'll put a bid out there. If it does fall back into the 80s, we can just sort of say, okay, we'll take a little bit more out, you know, 15% or so of what we have left, because we basically got stopped out there, and I think it's just a matter of time before we do, and then those imbalances will kick, and we'll see what winds up happening there. But yeah, Dara, she has it all on Trader TV Research. So if you just go over to the website. I mean, a lot of people asking about an after show and this and that, but you can, oh, there it goes. Palantir just goes higher. So fine, we're stopped out of that. There it is right here. So these are all of, oh, we didn't even look at John Deere. Is this today? Watch out for Tuesday. Oh, it's tomorrow. So
I was going to say, we would have known that.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is what's happening tomorrow.
Yeah, like Walmart.
John Deere. So this is all tomorrow before the open. We won't even get to talk about this. Yeah, Walmart. These are the big ones here. Wayfair. So we talked about this happening now. Target is a big one for me.
Lemonade too? That's
yeah, Klarna, First Majestic. That's, isn't that Fabian's stock? Anyways, Open Door, Newmont, and there's your Live Nations. That all goes tomorrow. So a bunch. What is Open Door's price? Last time I saw it was $6.
I'm going to, nah, it's got to be under 5.
You'd think it's under that now. I haven't heard anything about Open Door.
460. Okay. Eric, what's up?
That's still fine.
Eric, you're under the 200 period moving averages. I'll get to the poll in a second. You're under the 200. You're under $5. When is this thing going to be a buy again? Everything about it is trending back down. And I'm talking about Eric Jackson, by the way, who is Canadian. That's why we, not that we're on a first name basis, but he's Canadian, so I feel like we can. This aftermarket tomorrow, this should be a wild one. There's always squeeze potential there, but the case for a lot of these small runners that were crazy last year, it's just been unwinding. We're going to go to Darren in a quick little second, but is Bitcoin oversold right now? I said already holding and looking at DCA, which apparently is not a popular opinion, 9%. No more downside coming is 44%, which is not that dissimilar if you're holding and looking at DCA. Yes, time to buy 33%. Don't trade crypto, 14%. So most people have an opinion on it, and it looks like it is mostly to the downside. Let's go back to Adair.
Yeah, Trump talking about how the stock market is doing things that no one ever expected, specifically with regards to the S&P 500 and the Dow breaking the 7,000 level and the 50,000 level, respectively. But, Sean, because you mentioned John Deere, I do have this infographic I do want to show to remind you all that this exists, because I had a lot of fun with this one. You have the little deer jumping over John Deere's quarterly revenue. This is from Q1 2023 all the way to the most recent quarter, Q4 2025. This infographic, like far too many others, is available on X at TTV Research. So be a deer and check it out. Back to you.
The only thing that field is missing is a baseball diamond. And Shoeless Joe coming out of left field. I love that movie.
Cheating. I love that movie too. Shout out to Kevin Costner.
Literally like one of 2 good films that the guy did. Actually, no, I should give him more credit than that. He's been in
John Deere. Yeah, so watch out for that, as agriculture should be
a good company, man.
obviously something to look out for.
Like if people are, it's like, oh my goodness, I don't like what's going on in the markets. We're all doom and gloom. Tech is dead. There's lots of pretty, I should say, very quality companies that have been absolute rockets. To be perfectly honest, this is actually way better than I even thought. Like I knew this was doing well. I didn't even realize it was doing this well. But it's just a perfect example of where the rotation has been going. When uncertainty happens, people start asking, well, is John Deere still going to be selling and printing money in 5 years, in 10 years? Are we afraid about that? Apparently the market's telling you no, and sometimes that's what it's all about.
I mean, all these industrial stocks are just
beasts, man.
Absolutely.
Like what I'm saying, like you gotta not
1 minute.
It is what it is. Like I've said, I own CAT in my biggest non-tech holdings personally are Caterpillar, Walmart, and Eli Lilly, and if I add together all the banks that I own, then it would be the banks. But because I own multiple, I can't really say that. Shoot, there was just a comment up there that I missed.
What is it? Put it back. It's not me. I didn't have it.
Oh, I didn't put up. I thought you put it up.
No, I wasn't even paying.
Well, I don't know how we get the comments back because I didn't see it, so I don't know which comment it was.
Well, then we can't get it back.
Maybe somebody knows what. I'm sorry. I have no idea what that was. And to those saying Walmart is expensive, yeah, it is. I'm not buying Walmart up here. I haven't bought Walmart in a while, but I will continue to buy dips. That's right. Walmart went to the Nasdaq, so now anytime I want to look at a chart, I'll throw it into eSignal.
So far, the biggest sell. Right now.
Oh, so it's a sell?
Yeah, so far, so 3 million there. We can see it's not doing anything to the stock.
Rigetti's a buy.
There. There's Netflix with a buy as well. So now Netflix starting to go back up to the upside. Palantir is falling, so it's probably a sell. What a surprise. Apple with a buy there as well. Nice upside move. NVIDIA with a sell. So it seems pretty mixed. Like this is why it's tough to get involved in a stock this close to close, right? I mean, you do have big moves that are happening all over the place. Walmart ahead of earnings buy was been down the last couple of days for Walmart. Yeah, actually, 134. Yeah, 135 basically high to 126. That'd be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. I think if Walmart misses, that's probably a buy there tomorrow. So we can wait to see if that happens as well. PayPal, there's Rivian. Yeah, wow, that's a sell at that 1850 mark for sure. Uber's had a rough day. Not a rough day, but a rough time. Uber right now up though today, up 3.5%. So that is really nice right there. There's Apple with a buy, Bank of America, XOM. Wow, nice move up there right here for a 1 million buy as well. And then you mentioned Rigetti. So,
Rigetti,
yeah, that's the one that's
like
kind
someone
of
new.
Who knows?
Who knew? Because Rigetti just ran 3% from the lows going into that imbalance. And it's a Nasdaq stock, so it's not like there was an early look. 1.5 million is a decent amount. Here, maybe it'll probably flip, just for anyone that's tuning in. If you're tuning in for the first time, you've never seen the imbalance locator. Before we get to the market on close, which is where these orders are going, at 355, you will usually see these pair off. So that 1.5 million buy on Rigetti and the 3 million sell on SoFi, very likely to change significantly in 3 minutes. That Cisco buy of 1.5 million as well. Who is it that loved Cisco? Is it Brian?
He mentioned that it was it is literally breaking out of like a 30 year.
I don't know if he actually traded it though. I just remember him.
Oh yeah. I don't know.
I don't know if he actually traded.
He has so many ideas.
Easy Peasy is back, and the 0.2%, 6 hundo,
it's alive. Building
apps with OpenClaw. It's alive. Yes, it is. A lot of talk of OpenClaw today on the midday.
Oh, was there?
It's the claw.
Interesting.
I used to do you remember Jim Carrey?
Yep, of course.
Liar, Liar, The Claw. Yeah, my nephew was obsessed with that. So like I had to.
And Liar, Liar. Oh,
when he was young, I'd do The Claw all the time
because getting you or something.
Every single time he saw me, until he was at least like 5 or 6 years old, he's like, "Uncle, do The Claw," and then I'd do The Claw. It was always fun. Kids are the best. So Rigetti is making power moves. Let's see. Yeah, still going. By the way, Rigetti. Come to this chart. This is another stock which is at very significant levels. You go back to when Quantum was breaking out. Was that really on September 12th? When Quantum was breaking out, like that big move started the secondary move started right about here. You're now underneath that 16.5 price. So it's at the place where this all started, which is wild to think. And I get it. There was the initial crazy moves that were back here if you go to 2024. But I'm just talking about like the parabolic move to the highs broke out right in here. And the fact that you're all the way back in, it does give you a logical place where there might be some bottom feeding buying or shorts where maybe even targeting that area. So a lot of these stocks, the SMRs, the Rigettis, the Oklos, and I'm lumping nuclear and quantum together because they kind of ran at the same time. This would be a nice place for them to bounce. I do fundamentally think that the nano-nuclear play, like the SMRs of the world, I feel much better about those as shot plays because I think there's more of a there for them that I can understand. And when it comes to quantum, I'll just dollar cost average into IBM because at least that company makes money, so I get to bet on quantum and not lose money. And you can do with Google as well. So I buy both those stocks on dips. Actually, oddly enough, the two most recent buys were both Google and IBM now that I think about it. So it is what it is. That's a better way to play quantum.
Yeah, IBM's, is that
it's still pulling?
Is it still in such a drawdown? Okay, I might have to step in.
It's like what, like Walmart. I only buy that. I buy that stock when people are hating on it. Like I'm not trying. I don't buy it on the tops. When that draws back, I'm a buyer. If Caterpillar draws back big, I'm a buyer. And so IBM draws back big, I'm a buyer.
Yeah, I mean that just really crushed through the 200 period there at 280, 288, 290. Good support. Now giving up. Yeah. Probably lower for IBM as well right now. Let's just check out what's going on with Meta here.
Oh, NVIDIA.
643. Yeah, NVIDIA was a big one to switch over. We can see if SoFi winds up switching. SoFi was a long, was a short. Could flip into a long. We do have just minutes now until these imbalances potentially flip up. So watch out. Watch SoFi change to a bid now. 3, 2, 1. No, stays sell.
Oh, it didn't.
Stays sell. So there it goes. Gets hit again. As some of them will flip over at 355. NVIDIA stayed by as well. So some of these, just not as much interest here at the close because normally these pair off. So SoFi does have lower to go, man, until that pairs off. Probably lower, almost right into the close. I could short this, but I don't know if it's going to give any juice. Yeah, probably not worth it into the close. I don't mind this short with a 1.97, sorry, a sell imbalance. They still need to do this trade. So could print a little lower here into the close. We could have been short basically 55s. We'll see where this goes and then maybe just think about it tomorrow in case it's there. Again, we've been dealing with WorkSport a little bit, up over $1, so that's still nice. And let's see what Netflix is gonna do as well. $78, got a low bid of 75 over the last couple of days, and here's what it looks like on the daily chart. So a couple of up days right now as we battle with Netflix and Warner Brothers. And we said it wouldn't be the end of the world if they wind up getting some deals there done with Warner Brothers or Paramount, and even if Netflix is out of there, it's not the end of the world for them, I don't think. But okay, there's SoFi. At least it's working now. You can take a couple thousand shares, a couple pennies. Good trading there.
I thought that was going to flip. I was ready to punch long. I thought
that's what we were looking at, right? And then when it didn't, we should have hit the shorts.
Yeah. I think the problem with that is the algos are really quick. Usually you're looking in one direction on that flip. Like I'm either looking it's going to flip and you go the other direction, or you're thinking continuation. Cisco actually stayed a buy of 1.2 million as well. So if you were playing, I mean the market's also bouncing here to give its credit, but look at Cisco. It just peaked with a spike. Like when that stayed as a buy, it broke out and then pulled back a little bit. So this is Cisco running into, this is just like Rigetti. It was running going into the imbalance. And when the imbalances came out, spike, 55 it spiked. Still a chance it could pair off, but it just goes to show you can actually just play them in the direction of the imbalance. When there's no index action, oftentimes you'll be looking to revert it or play it in the other direction when it flips, but pretty standard here. Worth noting that Cisco, after, let's just say a healthy pullback is one way to explain $88 to $74, regaining the 50 period moving average and relatively strong today. Up 2 points into a market that's only up just less than 1. So it's like almost 2 and change X what the Nasdaq was able to do. So relative strength in Cisco, this looks like it could be back on the upswing. Nasty pullback, obviously, last week. Not that it was alone, but the continuation on this short, that would have been on, I think, Thursday. Wild. But it's been bouncing ever since. This could be an interesting gap fill play tomorrow. Maybe you put that on the list, because SoFi, after that little flush back into 1950, the chances of the 20 breakout tomorrow are dwindling the more this thing falls. SoFi might not even end up green today, which kind of puts the kibosh on this 20 breakout and gap fill that we like. But that's the thing about a breakout trade. If it doesn't break, you don't have to trade it. You want it through that resistance. You don't force it along. Would be nice if it did, though.
Fannie Mae up 5%. I mean, I didn't trade. It's only done 5 million shares, but this is an interesting name. We've seen this go up and down and around. This was $1.50 back on President's, or maybe even below $1. And then he had talked all about the housing and, you know, potentially bringing these guys back and realizing some profits there for U.S. Government and or the people, and giving this back a little bit. So we'll have to watch out. 750. It's a nice move up for Fannie Mae anyway, sitting up 4%. I did want to look. Someone asked, did Pan W go SSR today?
It did.
Yeah, so you have an E there, so that means yes. So it'll be tomorrow as well. So it's always day plus one. So it'll be tomorrow. If it goes down 10% tomorrow, then it will reset again, and it'll be the next day. So tomorrow, Thursday, Palo Alto will be SSR again. So it didn't really do, I guess it must have gone right there. And that was the low. So we can see if tomorrow, if 148, 149 winds up holding. But the market might be okay tomorrow. I mean, you're going to finish out up over VWAP or at VWAP, up on the day, another 1% for the Nasdaq, and kind of just like on the daily, the Nasdaq is not looking horrible. We only have 30 seconds left until the close. And, you know, we've kind of battled back. I mean, it's not the SPAR, it's not the Dow. We obviously realize it's down, but there's that whole move, right? This is September. So the market's really done nothing for a quarter of the year and not giving any dividends, most of these stocks in the Nasdaq 100. So not great right there with only 1 minute or 10 seconds left. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We will ring the virtual bell right there and get out of there just to see Nasdaq 0.8, closing, ES 0.5. So a decent day. We can check out what the IWM is doing. We had oil up near the end of the day as well.
You get a super chat right at the end there from Nick W.
Good. What is it?
Thoughts on Uber here. Here's the monthly chart. I think for myself in Uber, prior high, 50 period on the monthly. Like almost like letting it fall back into the 60s. Once it's in the 60s, that feels like a better level. And I'm not even sold. Like I own Uber, I'm holding it. I've done nothing with this stock in quite some time. I did sell some when it got added to the S&P, but I haven't done anything with it since. I'm thinking about putting those shares back in, but it would have to be in the 60s. Dara?
Sorry, just letting you guys know, Trump just finished his event. So the Black History reception is done, or at least Trump's speech is done. Just letting you guys know in case you're wondering what happened there.
Appreciated.
Yeah. So yeah, Trump the market didn't do too much there in the close, as far as anything that Trump had to say. So, all right, man. Yeah, oil right there up. Just to review a couple big names here. Oil up 5% today, so that's real nice. Gold today, and again, these are all live markets. So they're going to continue to trade. Gold right now up 2.5%. Silver was up 3 and change, up 5 there. With a little bit of a dump there at the end of the day, and then a retake of VWAP. So that would have been interesting. I don't know why we missed that one right down there, and then a nice move back up into VWAP. So, okay, I probably, if the market was still open, that actually looks like a decent short right there for me on silver. So, all right, 401. Thank God Canada missed disaster today, which is nice. Doesn't look too bad. It's bad outside, but my drive home was like less than 40 minutes, so that should be good. So far, so good. Knock on wood. There's no cars in the ditch, or I don't wind up in there.
Well, they didn't cancel my daughter's swimming, which they've been known to do
that's
sometimes
good.
when there's bad weather. So
good.
she gets to do her activities, then she'll be happy about that.
Maybe your weather's better over there. I mean, you live like a little
That's
bit.
what I'm saying. Like, it's probably not even that bad. Sometimes, you know how it is with the weather. Like they'll always tell you it's gonna be way worse. That way, no one can complain when it's really bad. So they will always overstate the probability of rain. They will overstate how bad things are going to be, which actually makes a lot of sense because it's better that you're prepared than anything else. And we'll make sure you're prepared for tomorrow's action, as always, at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning.
8 a.m.
And the other thing, just a little bit of a reminder,
Bitcoin.
we're 6 days away. 6 days away from the Academy. And the next time I talk about it will be tomorrow when it's 5 days away.
Is that how it
will
works?
let you guys know. Well,
And on Friday, then I think it'll be 4 days away.
4 days away.
We're releasing it on Tuesday then. Okay.
Yeah, Tuesday. Just to be different.
Yeah.
Releasing on Monday's week. Tuesday's just better.
I was waiting. Carvana's not out yet. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if Figma's out. No, it doesn't look like it's much happening right now. Okay, thanks for everybody. Thanks to Derek. Great updates today. Fabian, everybody. Ramin, Joe, not Joe. Joe, I hope his dog's feeling a lot better, obviously. We'll see if Joe's, I think he'll be in tomorrow. Obi and Sharif, Neil, myself, Brendo, everybody, but most importantly, you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the flip side tomorrow. Ciao till then.